just before we start, I haven't finished Beyonce's album yet.
This guy.
So that's the only topic I'm not ready for.
That's it. Cancel the episode. Episode done.
Stop the count.
What do you think of it so far?
Yeah, I like it so far. It's different. Well, for Beyonce.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it so far. I like that dance music is having like a second coming.
Yeah, and like I like the. Yeah, like it's just a good like vibe. You know what I mean? It's not. I like the kind of in between we're at, where it's not too heavy dance, where it's just like a beat and nothing else.
Yeah. It's not like house.
Yeah, it's not like a trance.
Yeah.
Anthems or anything. It's more of a like between her, Weeknd, and Drake. We sort of have seen a lot of big artists pushing that kind of techno, house influence.
Yeah, but all in like different ways as well. Whereas like Drake is like full on sounds like early 2000s inspired house.
Yeah.
Whereas like Weeknd is more like
80s disco,
80s,
techno,
disco pop.
90s techno. And then sort of Beyonce, her album's a lot of that like 90s house sort of them classics that you hear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A bit of Whitney-esque.
Yeah, as well
places.
in there. Yeah, I see what you mean. And like who is it? Sort of almost in places as well, a little bit like not as in it's the genre, but I can see the influence of like garage and stuff for sure.
Yeah.
Where it's like flowers and stuff like that.
Garage as well has had like a comeback. Especially like UK.
For sure. Well, yeah, like because obviously the classics like have never gone away. Like if you go out, you're gonna hear garage.
It's like the 5 garage songs.
That's
like every person from the UK knows.
Literally,
if it comes on.
I was gonna say,
but like
yeah, no, I agree with you. I quite like the sort of revival we're having at the moment. So with that bad news out the way, welcome to Don't Start a Podcast. It's episode 11. 11.
Bosh. We're back.
11. We're back. Summer's over. Summer packed its bags and went.
I mean, if you're from the UK, it's as soon as you hit September, summer's gone.
Clocked out. I wasn't sure. I thought we were going to get a long, hot September. No. It was like, I'm out. My shift is over. It's hit 5 o'clock. I'm going home.
It's weird with the timings. When you live in the UK, it's like, I feel like we get like waves of weather where it's like, you could get like a 2-week heat wave or vice versa. You get a 2-week. And September's always like the balancing point.
Yeah.
If you get a good start to September, chances are your summer's going to last through September.
Yeah.
But if you get a shit September, you're in winter till like May.
Yeah, 100%.
So like that's pretty much us done.
Yeah. We're not getting an autumn. We're just skipping. We're skipping that straight to cold ass winter.
As soon as you hit October, it's like clock's done.
Finished. Dark by 7 o'clock.
Yeah, dark by 4.
Mate.
Yeah, Christmas on the way.
Christmas pod. But there are some benefits. We do get the like full autumn music vibes. This is where I know kind of Brent and Givian started us off with a bit of a melodic summer, but Bryson's returned to be like, nah, boys, it's autumn.
Dropped a good single.
I was gonna say I really like that outside song.
Yeah, I thought that was
quite good. So now we say every pod, Black, come on, it's cold outside. You have no excuse anymore. I get, it was summer. Black doesn't really make summer music normally. Maybe vibing.
Because East Atlanta Love Letter was like what? That was like a full drop from memory. So. Like when that I want to say that was like September, October release. I could be like wildly off.
Yeah, in my brain it is.
I just remember listening to it in those months.
Yeah,
and it was like fresh.
I was gonna say he just makes that kind of vibe. You know what I mean? So him, P&D, all of them, come out of hiding wherever you are. Come back, give us some good autumn bangers to get us through.
Something can be sad.
Yeah.
In the autumn.
Although all this talk, I had a brainwave the other day where I was like, we keep talking about R&B artists we want to drop and that, and I realised someone we have not mentioned, but I know we're both a fan of, Miguel. I think the world is ready for another Miguel album.
I'd say he's heavily overdue.
Heavily? Like, what was the last one? The one with Come Through and Chill On?
No, he dropped a tape after that.
But that's, I mean, album-wise,
like
that's, yeah.
Yeah, and that was a while ago as well. And it wasn't too great from memory. I can't remember it that well.
I didn't even know it existed.
I'm 90% sure it was like an EP. It might have been like... It might have even been like a song pack.
Really? As I said, because in my brain, the last thing he did is that album. And then, like, he's just sort of had features and stuff. Let's see. War and Leisure. That's what, 2017, his last album.
Oh, it was that Art Dealer Chick 4. Which was, it was literally 4 songs. So it was like more like a song pack.
Yeah.
Than anything significant.
I was going to say, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh, we did like, because he did the 4 different ones.
Okay, I did not know these were a thing. I will have to give these a listen. Either way, I think the world is ready.
No, I think you're right. Especially like his last album was quite different for him. Yeah.
I was gonna say, because obviously you get like Skywalker on there.
Obviously, Come Through and Chill. The one with Ross. Is there a song with Ross?
I think so. You got Pineapple Skies.
Yeah, Criminal with Ross.
Yeah.
It was a lot more upbeat for him. He's always been like that, kind of like weird,
downbeat, sexy.
Yeah, like that's weird, sexy energy.
Yeah.
Like, and then that was kind of him trying to be more trendy and mainstream.
I was gonna say that felt like he was looking for like a kind of more clubby or like a bar vibe. You know what I mean? Like rather than like bedroom R&B, that's more like you're out.
Yeah,
smoking shisha, vibing.
But Miguel, like, I feel like he's someone who never gets a lot of credit. I never see a lot of people talking about him. And like when you look at like his hits,
body of work,
like he has hits.
Yeah, man,
like classic R&B hits.
100%, and like on multiple albums. Because I feel like people kind of try and be like Kaleidoscope Dream and that's it. You know, but it's like every album has had bangers.
Yeah.
You know, like I want like Kaleidoscope Dream is almost definitely his best album in my mind, but his other albums are all quite good. Yeah,
I'll say the first one. What's the first one called? Where it's him with the sunglasses.
I was gonna say where
it's like blue and red background.
Yeah,
that one is like I would say it's like a classic.
All I Want Is You.
All I Want Is You. Yeah, because
that's where Sure Thing comes from.
Yeah, and the actual song with Cole on that one.
Yes, All I Want Is You.
Yeah.
The title track. Oh, yeah, and of course that's where the Break from Toronto sample comes
from. With the dragon, the girl with the tattoo.
Yeah, which I'm sorry to say, all I need is Break from Toronto.
Yeah, but
that's the rare.
You gotta give credit to the original.
Yeah. That's one of the rare ones where the sample just like took that to like another level.
Yeah, no, it did, to be fair. But yeah, like vocally, the guy can sing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like I said, like as far as R&B artists go, he does have like a strong.
Yeah, I was gonna say catalog.
Body of work.
And a bit like, you know, we were talking about last pod about Brent, where it's like it's hard to like pick a project to recommend. Just listen to this. Miguel, you could really recommend any of his albums.
I was gonna say just any of his work really. Like. Because I know we're saying his last album was different, but like it's a great album.
I was gonna say I still really enjoyed it.
It had like hits in a different way, where like you say they're not as laid back. It's more like this is a bop.
Yeah,
but
I was
like,
gonna
it
say
still
more
hits.
something you're gonna dance to.
Yeah. So I wonder where he
He'd
would come from musically. For the
Yeah.
next album, because like if you look at him on like social media, he is quite like I don't know, the way he posts is quite weird and different. It's a bit obscure. So you're like, whereas like in that era of what is the album called? Is it War and Leisure?
Yeah,
The last one. In that era, he was like I said, he had like the long hair.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was very out there.
Yeah, being a bit more, like you say, out there. So I wonder what the next
Yeah, for sure. Because like
album would be like.
You could see it going either way, where he just tries to go fully mainstream sound, or he really goes back, sort of strips it back to like that old school, for him style.
And I think,
sort of.
I don't know what I would want.
Neither do I. That's what I'm saying. I would just like him to drop and let the world sort of interpret it. You know what I mean? Sort of whatever he's working on, because he's like. He like split up and got back together with his wife. Like he's been going through. So I would like to hear like the impact on his art and like him talk his shit sort of thing. I would be quite interested. It's not like I'm like, oh, he's probably just been chilling. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. No, yeah. I say whenever Miguel comes up in conversation, like,
I think like you said, I think he's sort of underappreciated in the space of R&B, for modern R&B especially.
Definitely.
Because he comes out around the same time as Abel, right?
I think before.
Is he before? Is he 2011? Either way, it's 2010s, isn't it? He's not out in like 2009, is he? 2010, yeah. So just before. Oh, Kaleidoscope Dreams 2012. That's why. Yeah, so I mean, pretty consistently he'd drop an album every 2-3 years up to War and Leisure.
But I think maybe that's why, because I know like Miguel does have like a fan base. If you talk to like someone who knows about R&B, there's chances are like they have Miguel songs in their playlist.
100%.
But it's just like 5 years since an album.
I was going to say it's hard to keep holding the banner of an artist unless it's someone known for doing that, like a Frank Ocean or
yeah.
You know, or they're just such a super megastar like Rihanna. You know what I mean? Like, she's so huge it can't. Or like if Drake didn't drop for 5, like when they're such a megastar, it doesn't really forget. Whereas obviously someone like Miguel is a bit more. He's mainstream R&B, but he's not mainstream like worldwide super megastar sort of status.
Yeah. No, one that's completely went over my head. Definitely, Miguel does. He's overdue as well.
I was gonna say, way like
overdue for an album.
Yeah. So, as I said, where we sort of talk R&B-ish artists, I would quite like to see him, come back.
Definitely need another Cole feature.
Oh, 100%.
They never seem to miss.
Yeah. And I like when Cole gets in his. Obviously, I love when Cole is barring back and forth, but when he gets in his melodic back, like Shea Butter Baby a couple of years ago when he did that with
Ari Lennox.
Yeah, so whose album I haven't heard yet. That's one I wanted to bring to the pod, but I've literally only heard that Summer Walker song that the two of them have. So next pod. I think music wise though, it's been pretty quiet for the most part.
Like we mentioned, Bryson.
Yeah, I do really. I like when Bryson sounds enthused.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he sort of is one of them artists that likes to be low key, likes to sort of fall back a lot. He seems quite shy. So I like when he sounds engaged and he's like, nah, I'm
a bit more energetic.
Yeah. And it's just kind of a good vibe. You know what I mean? It's like one of them good transitional songs from like the weather's getting a bit colder, but it's still like vibey.
I will say, speaking of Bryson, I've been listening to Anniversary a lot recently. I've like gone back to it because like when it dropped, I like didn't really have. I was
gonna say you're quite ambivalent. I was more positive on that than you were.
I didn't really have like a strong direction towards it either way. But I like going back to it. I think it is quite good.
I think
album.
it is. I think it's really good.
It is quite
like
good.
it doesn't have hits like trap soul,
But I don't think it needs them in the same way.
that's why I think it's just a super consistent project, and I even think the deluxe adds to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Where it sort of builds out that album a bit more, so it's a bit longer and doesn't overstay its welcome still. I really like, sort of like I was just saying, like it felt like he was infused for that album, because the album before, True to Self,
yeah.
It has good songs on there. I'm not one of them people that's like trash. There are like 4 or 5 songs on there I like. Overall, though, it does just feel like Bryson was like, I need an album.
Yeah, for real.
And just put all these songs together. Wasn't really feeling it. Was burnt out probably from touring trap soul and just that lifestyle.
And it was weird, like with the timings as well. I think that's what didn't help when Anniversary came out, because we like trap soul was like massive. Then we had a bit of a wait to True to Self.
Yeah, it was
wild. Like no one liked it when it came
out.
Oh,
absolutely. And as I said, I don't like that album. I don't think it's trash.
And like then we had to wait again for Anniversary. So at the time I was like, I don't know, I was expecting something like trap soul, where you know you got like the higher energy, you got like Rambos and stuff.
Yeah. I get what you mean. Whereas it's more of an R&B vibey project.
But I like it. Like the
100%.
The samples are great.
Yeah.
The features are good. The ones we get. Like,
I was gonna say that one with Drake, obviously. Who else is? Oh, there's the Big Sean one on the deluxe that I really like. Who else is on there? Is anyone else on there?
I think that's it.
I was gonna say, is it just 2 of them? But yeah, because in the lead up, I was a bit pissed off because it felt, that is it. Because it felt like he was just dropping like 2-minute songs. Because obviously you have Inhale, where like half of that is a sample.
Yes.
It feels like he's just getting in his bag, then he ducks out. I felt like that was what happened when he remixed that Summer Walker song, Playing Games, where it's like,
it
felt like he was just getting in his bag and then it stops.
Cut short.
And you're like, Bryson, what is going on? And then the album dropped and I was like, okay, there are actually songs on here, you know. And I think maybe people overlooked that Drake song because they expected Bryson and Drake, it's going to be a fucking banger.
But it's a great song.
I was going to say, but I like how just like it's a vibe sort of thing. Like it's very laid back. It's sort of them in their more like sad bag. I'm glad we got that rather than a rapping one, to be honest.
No, I think it complements Bryson more.
I was going to say, because at the end of the day, if you put Drake and Bryson on a song, I don't want them rapping.
No,
I'm sorry, I want to hear them in their feelings.
Yeah. I know Bryson has like some good rap songs, but like for the most part, like people like Exchange, I was gonna say Bryson,
Exchange.
Like, so I think it, like you say, and obviously Drake's versatile enough to
absolutely
go back into that.
You know, Drake can go
slower
either way. That sort of thing. So 100%. I agree. That is an overlooked album, I think.
Definitely.
Just a very, very consistent, and so hopefully Bryson comes back with something this year. I wouldn't mind. I don't really put much stock in Bryson dropping, because even before he would like hype up an album like Serenity for ages. Serenity's dropping, never dropped. So I don't really put and then when Anniversary came out, he was like, this is the R&B album, I've got a pop album and a rap album coming, bruv. Those are never coming out.
And we got Christmas too.
I hate to break it. Oh yeah, I forgot he did this. I have not listened to this.
Either have I. I just
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, I'll give him credit for trying to mix up the retail playlists by being like, here's a bit more Christmas music. There's not 10 songs in the playlist anymore. Now there's 15.
But yeah, I think it was with the marketing as well of Anniversary, where it's literally like
Trap Soul 2.
Exactly. Like the cover, the name, because it came out like...
Yeah. On the 5th anniversary or something.
Yeah, so it's like... at the time I was like, what is this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was most people's reaction, where they were sort of like, oh, because you basically named it Trap Soul 2, it was very hard for people not to compare it very directly. Exactly. And I don't even think, like, I like Trap Soul a lot, but I don't even love it like a lot of people do. Like, I don't think it's a top 5 modern R&B album outside of Influence. Like, I really enjoy Trap Soul. It's top 10 probably for modern kind of that genre. As I said, it deserves all the credit in the world for blowing that style up, because he definitely mainstreamed that sound.
No, definitely.
But I don't think it holds a candle to like Party's first 3 projects. I don't think it holds a candle to Free Black or East Atlanta Love Letter. Like,
no, I agree. Like,
you know what I mean?
I do like it.
As I said, it is a great album.
And at the time, it was all people were listening to. Like, I remember like everyone was talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't was like the song of the year.
Yeah,
and for the style of Don't being as big as it is, we've only seen that happen with like a few artists. Like obviously Drake, Marvin's Room, a lot of Summer Walker's music's managed to be that, where like she can have really downbeat music, but it still is hits. Like. Obviously, we were not outside when Don't dropped, but I'll bet that was playing in the clubs, regardless of if it made sense. 100% bet clubs were like, we got to drop Don't.
Yeah, or even Exchange.
Yeah.
I mean, we've heard Marvin's Room out, so surely.
I was going to say, we've heard Marvin's Room at least twice out. So, absolutely. Exchange easily. I could see that. That's a good closer. The lights have come on.
Yeah.
It's time to go home. Let's play Exchange.
But, yeah, shout out to Anniversary. I just wanted to...
Yeah, no. That is a good...
bring that.
As I said, I think that's a good one to bring up as deserving a bit of a revisit from people.
Yeah.
As I said, especially
I think so.
Where Bryce... As I said, I think the thing of Bryson is just he blew up too quick. He blew up off one album, and
it was always going to be hard to like follow that up.
100%. Because like people put a lot on his shot. They were like, "This is the next Drake. He can rap. He can sing. This is it." And like anyone you put that on the shoulders of is gonna. It's like when a female artist comes out, "Oh, she's the next Beyonce." You know what I mean? Like just immediately, it's like, whoa, that cannot be a lot to like easily deal with. But yeah, apart from that, I don't think there's too many new releases.
No, not
just a couple singles and stuff that have come out. But yeah, so should we sort of keep it similar to, it's music themed, but Aron did a little field work for us. He went
overseas.
He went overseas to bring us a breaking news report on the After Hours maze.
Weekend experience.
Because it's specifically After Hours, right? It's not.
Yes, it's right. After Hours.
I was gonna say,
which like makes sense.
Because that, yeah.
But yeah. So obviously Universal, every year they do their horror mazes for like Halloween, and this year one of the theme mazes was the Weeknd, and obviously because I was in Florida around that time,
right, just happened to be passing through.
It would have been a shame not to have experienced that. No, I thought it was really cool. Like, obviously After Hours easily fits.
Yeah, I was gonna say
horror experience.
Definitely built that album into a horror.
Yeah, by the end
vibe.
We had like, I mean, all the music videos were kind of in that vibe.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, In Your Eyes is literally just like a slasher film.
Yeah, and obviously Too Late.
Too Late is weird. Save Your Tears is like, not in the same way, but it's still quite out there.
Kind of creepy. Some like off kind of kilter, and I mean, After Hours, the like short film as well. And yeah, and even how it sort of built into Dawn FM, sort of same vibe, where it's sort of like dark, dingy, creepy.
Yeah. But no, like the experience was amazing. Is like, because surprisingly, like you had like Halloween and Blumhouse Studios.
Yeah.
As well, and you'd think like Halloween would be like the one they market.
Yeah.
Alongside, I guess, the other two, but like the Weeknd's one was like easily like the biggest set wise. You like in the line was literally like a stage setup.
That's so sick.
So like when you were in the line, they were just playing like After Hours and Dawn FM, just like on loop. So everyone was just vibing, and I expected there to be some Weeknd fans, but like the whole line was just like everyone had like tour merch.
Oh no way!
And I was like,
you're like, all right.
I don't know. Should have repped the Kiss man.
You started putting your sleeves up. You're like, yeah. Anyway, I'm.
Start flexing the iPhone. But yeah, and then you had like a massive, before you go into the maze, there's like this massive backdrop, which was just like a vinyl of After Hours.
Oh no!
Which was cool. And then the actual maze itself was like quite sick. Like,
what sort of are you like?
So what was the stuff that was inspired by? So like, you know, what's the some of the artwork we've seen before where it's like the girls in the head from Too Late, the music video.
Oh yeah.
When they're in like the
bandages.
Face bandages.
Yeah. After the plastic surgery. Yeah.
Yeah. So some of the actors were dressed like that.
Oh, okay.
Then like one room, which I managed to sneak a picture of, was like, because you're not allowed to take pictures.
Yeah.
But, was just like a Weeknd body in like an electric chair.
Oh yeah.
With like his hair all like gone and shit, which is quite cool. And then as you're walking through, it's just like people dressed up as like After Hours Weeknd, like the red suit.
Oh
like,
yeah, with the knife. Yeah.
And then like the final room was really cool because there's like a bunch of mannequins dressed as the Weeknd, and they're all still. And then as you're walking through, one of them's an actual person.
Oh no way!
Dressed as the Weeknd, and just
That's
like jumps
sick.
out at you. But yeah, like I wish they would let you film and stuff, because like the actual sets as you're walking through, it was spooky. Like one room was just like a guy's body just dismembered on a table, like kind of referencing the Too Late music video.
Yeah. Where they
like,
sort of chop
and
them
they're
up
just
and
holding
put
like
them back together. Yeah.
Head of the Weeknd. So like, yeah, it was quite cool.
That's sick.
And probably was it was either that or the Halloween maze, which were the best ones. Like,
but you, I remember you saying you quite like the Blumhouse one.
Blumhouse was cool as well. Yeah, that's probably the scariest.
Yeah.
But like in terms of like
design and
yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Halloween, I suppose, like. Yeah, I get what you're saying, where you'd expect that to be the biggest, but I think it's in a weird place after that last movie because it was not well received. Yeah. And so I wonder if they're sort of like, well, whereas obviously Weeknd's on a big tour at the moment, and Blumhouse are like quite trendy right now because you know they've had a little stack of hits where it's been like Invisible Man, the Black Phone, yeah, and someone else is in there as well. You know, Blumhouse have sort of, they've gone from before. I feel like when Blumhouse their logo would appear, you'd sort of be like, I know exactly what I'm in for.
Yeah, like a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, like film. Mid.
Yeah.
Definition of mid. Whereas I feel like they're trying to become like an A24 style, like a prestige. If you see a Blumhouse logo, you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, and to be fair, like, obviously the two films one was based on was Black Phone and Freaky.
Yeah, I haven't seen Freaky.
Same.
Or Black Phone, for that matter. But I know Black Phone is supposed to be really good.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it and it is quite good. Like,
because it's the same team as Sinister, isn't it? It's Ethan Hawke and
yes,
the guy that did the first Doctor Strange. I can't think of his name. Scott Derrickson. 99% sure that's the name. And Sinister is 3/4 of a banging movie. So
yeah, the first one is
up till the end.
I can't remember. How does it end again? Well,
he just gets killed. Spoilers. His daughter
what'd she do? She like
drugs him and then chops him up with an axe.
Huh.
That's 3/4 of a good movie.
And like the good stuff is quite fucking scary.
Oh yes, the tapes.
Yeah,
that's all you really need from the first Sinister. Like the whole running around the house, bagools popping out. Didn't really need that, but like him just sat, like Ethan Hawke, who's one of the best fucking actors we have.
Great actor, yeah.
Like just sat in a dark room watching these like snuff films, basically. That's all that movie needed. Like,
yeah, I mean, and like it's so big in pop culture as well.
Yeah,
for like, good reason.
Bagool.
Yeah, it's a cool idea, and he is great in Black Phone because like in that he kind of plays the Bagool.
Yeah.
He's
I was gonna say
the
the weirdo
character, yeah. And he plays it like perfectly.
Really,
like, the creep.
I'm super excited to watch it. I did want to, but I feel like it like zoomed out of cinema so fast. Yeah. I mean, I think horror wise, in general, I quite like where we are at the moment as a genre. I feel like, you know, a lot of people complain that horror now is all trying to be this. I hate the name, but people keep calling it like elevated horror. And I get the complaint where it's like, you go in and you're like, okay, so the monster in this is going to be a metaphor for like some deep problem, like either mental health or like racism or something. Like, I get people's complaint, but I would rather a movie try and do something than just, like you said, 5 out of 10. Or the nun went boo.
yeah, genuinely, because when you look at the films, some of the horror films that do that elevated approach, you get some of the best horror films we've had in like the last 10 years.
I was gonna say there's a reason that genre like caught on.
Like you get like It Follows,
Babadook, Hereditary, Invisible Man. What else is sort of in that genre? As I said, a lot of A24 stuff feels like it's there.
What's the one that did Hereditary? The other.
Oh, Midsummer. Yeah. To me, I always thought a better name was like conscious horror, because it feels like horror movies these days are trying to be more like conscious of like social issues and stuff. Because elevated just to me feels like fucking jerking yourself, being like, oh yeah, it's not a real horror movie. It's like above, like
yeah. But it's like, what is real horror? Like
that's what I'm saying.
Because I don't know. My thing is there's the like pool of horror films we have. Like there are a lot of shit horror films.
Oh, absolutely.
Like a lot. Whereas like
at the end of the day, it's cheap to make. It will always be one of those genres that's just full of shit, because the bar to entry is so low.
Yeah, genuinely. It's easy to make. That's why they call like cheap scares. Like,
yeah.
It's so easy to make like a 90-minute horror film where it's just pure shitty jump scares.
Yeah, just
yeah.
Oh, you scared me, Nigel.
But it's like the thing we always say is like, you know a horror film's good is when it sticks with you.
Absolutely.
And it's not like the jump scares that stick with you. It's like more subtle stuff, or like Hereditary that barely has like jump scares in a way.
Yeah, it barely has like scares for the most part.
It's more
the atmosphere of like weird shit.
Yeah.
And seeing your reaction. It's not even necessarily like, most of that movie isn't like boo. Like there is a bit of that, certainly, especially towards the end. But I think it earns it.
Exactly. And it's fine if you have a bit. It's like Black Phone, going back to that, like that has jump scares, but it's not cheap. It's like it's more the vibe that you're roped into. And
I was gonna say,
and then like a jump scare here or there. It's like, okay, like, and in the day, it's still a horror. Like, so
yeah. I was gonna say,
I'm fine with that. So
yeah, like you said, I feel like horror's one of those things you wanna like stick with you, and I think that's a reason a lot of this like conscious elevated horror is so popular right now, because those concepts do stick with you. Like, at the end of the day, like your Get Outs or your Invisible Man, like they are very much about like very real things, and I'm sure some people would argue like it's a bit cheap, like that's cheating, like to be like, oh well, of course if you make a movie about domestic abuse it's gonna stick with me. Like but I think a lot of those movies are still just like well-made movies at the end of the day. I think
like you're going in the right direction if you go into a film going, this is the theme, this is the idea I want to present,
rather than like, how do we make money?
Exactly. Or like, how do we
put Annabelle in this?
Yeah.
Because did you see they are making another Conjuring?
I think I'm done with like
same
that universe.
There was 1.5 good movies and maybe 2 good spin-offs, at most, and the rest
And
are
what are
either
we
mid
counting
or
as
bad.
what
So
are
the
we
first
taking?
Conjuring is a great movie.
Yeah.
The second one's good, solid.
Good it starts getting a bit.
You're a bit like, I've seen this movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of just the first one again, but yeah.
Shout out.
Shout out.
But like,
To be fair, I have only seen that one the once, but I don't really have a desire to go back to it. The third one, I fell asleep during had to. It became like a fucking superhero movie when she's like battling that cultist on like the mental plane. I was like, what happened to The Conjuring?
I don't really like the third one, to be honest.
Same. As I said, I literally fell asleep. And then Annabelle 1 is one of the worst horror movies I've ever had to sit through. You said the second one was better?
The second one was better. Like, I wouldn't say it was good. I would say like, it was like if you'd have an okay time.
Yeah, a bit like The Nun.
Exactly
It was fine.
the same as The Nun.
Yeah. The third Annabelle I didn't hear anything about.
There was a third Annabelle.
Yeah, Annabelle Comes Home. Because it had them in it.
Of course, yeah. It was like Conjuring 3.5
yeah.
2.5.
And Curse of La Llorona was cool, but it was so baitly like a movie they made and then someone went, this will make more money if we say it's part of the Conjuring universe. Like, it has nothing to do.
Like, media does that.
Literally, it's so bait. Like, there's like one character that rolls up and is in like 2 scenes, and it's so baitly like, oh, so you reshot the movie and just filmed 2 scenes with this guy to be like,
who is the person they put into
I think it's the guy from Annabelle, like the priest, I think, from memory, but I had to like look it up because I saw everyone be like, it's part of the universe, and I was like, no, it isn't. Like, I thought it was just the same people made it and that was it. But like, yeah, this priest that's in like 2 scenes that like they go to be like, who is La Llorona? He's like, yep, it's me from Annabelle.
I do find it like interesting how 2 of like the biggest horror franchises, I mean, kind of ever, just like did kind of follow the same pattern, like Conjuring and Insidious. Whereas like you had like 2 great films.
Yeah.
And then they just milked it like too much.
I think we're getting a 4th Insidious as well.
We've had a 4th.
No, but Chapter 4. They're trying to write off the 4th movie. Yeah, they're trying to be like, no, that wasn't called Chapter 4.
Because like,
now that was a boring movie.
That was that's.
I knew we were in a bad time when, because you'd already seen. He saw it without me. I like watched it, and I know you'd warned me it's not good, but I was like, look, I love Insidious is just one of those franchises. I really enjoy it. Like, I like the vibe, everything, but I knew I was in for a bad time when the title card appeared, and there wasn't the like, you know, that really over the top,
the flashing Insidious logo.
The second that it was just like Insidious, the last key, and I was like, oh no. Where's the like the second you don't have that in your movie, I was like, it's over, it's a wrap.
But I find it weird, like with the Insidious films, like for some reason they kept feeling the need to tie it back to the first one.
I think that's what like crippled that franchise.
Because like, don't they try it twice with like the demon from the first one?
Yes.
Because he's at the end of 3, and then isn't he in the last key as well?
I think isn't.
Or something.
I know that the funny thing about
it's the main demon from the first 2 films. The man that.
Oh yeah.
In the last key somehow.
Yes, I think you're right.
I swear, or like they mention him. There's something with him, though.
Yeah, because or is it the movie ends and she gets the call from the family where they're like, we need you to come and help. You know, when he's a boy and they have to erase his memory, they have to hypnotize him.
But then it's like at the end of 3 that the demon from the first one comes.
The thing I love about every single Insidious movie, apart from the first one, is that the cliffhanger is never resolved, because the second movie ends with ghosts. What's her name? Eileen? Is that her name?
Which one? What
the spirit, the medium, you know, the main woman who's in all of them. The second movie ends with her going to the house of the girl in the wheelchair, and you hear the demon from the third movie, but she's a ghost. And then the third movie is a prequel. So you're like,
yeah, you're
that
right.
does not connect to the cliffhanger of the second movie. And then the third one ends with the Darth Maul demon showing up.
Do they ever go back to that from the ending of 2?
No. Because every single one is a prequel after that.
So that'll probably be what, chapter 4?
Yeah, she's a ghost going around. Honestly, I think the best thing for Insidious would just make a new family. Maybe give Patrick Wilson a cameo.
Because what more can you do with them? Like, they got 2 films.
Yeah, I'm not being funny. And just like the main woman, like, her story is well wrapped up now. There's I don't know, like, I get 2 ends on that cliffhanger if she's a ghost now and she's going to help people cross over to the other side as a ghost. But it's like, how will you make a movie about that? I think that's why they made 3 a prequel, is they realized, like, how do you make a movie about a ghost? Like,
and they did the same before.
Yeah.
So it's like, we don't have to address that yet. So
I don't know. Insidious is just one of them franchises. I wish they had more of a win-loss ratio than they did. Like, a better win-loss ratio, because those first 2 movies are pretty good. The first one especially. I think Insidious 1 is like one of the best horror movies of the past however long.
Like, even the third one has like moments.
It's still better than 90% of the Conjuring movies.
Yeah, for real.
Apart from The Last Key, I think the Insidious franchise is very consistent.
Like, I'd take the 3 Insidiouses over the 3 Conjurings.
Easily. Because, even Conjuring 1, I think, ends on kind of it peters out towards the end. You know, when it just becomes an exorcism movie. You're a bit like, okay, I'm cool.
Like, the first Insidious is like the most memorable film.
And it's just like more creative, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like the further... I mean, I know it's basically just Poltergeist, but the visuals of the demons and that, like, it's so much more creative. And just like the weird ghosts and the further where you're like, what is going on?
There's so many like creepy things. Like, you know, the little boy ghost.
Yeah, where
he's running through the house.
Boogieing.
Yeah. Like, it's not like it's not in your face, but it's like weird. Like the music they use, like the tiptoe.
Yeah. I think that's the thing Insidious always had the edge on, in that whilst, yes, they still had the blah, I'm a demon scenes, there would just be like quiet, creepy stuff. Like, I remember in Insidious 3 when he's waving.
Yeah.
That was creepy.
That's creepy.
2, that just the way he slowly gets possessed. And like, there's so many creepy moments there where you're like, there's something off with him.
It had like more. It always had more of a personality than Conjuring. Like, even like, the demon. Like, there's just like a scene of him like sharpening his. Claws.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like his eye. In like the
it's not like
glass.
Here's the nun running at you with a painting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's never a moment like that in Conjuring. I don't really think, like, for the most part.
I mean, obviously, like, it's Conjuring 1 with the clapping.
Yeah. Conjuring, okay, yeah, you're right. Conjuring 1, the intro half hour is probably better than anything else James Wan's done. Like, that is just a creepy haunted house sequence. And then the rest of the movie comes along and you're like...
It kind of falls back into like the cliche.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, those type of films.
You're right, because the clapping, that was all they needed. Everyone was
creepy,
shook of like just clapping. Like, nothing even happens. It just claps. Every scene, like, it never like...
Yeah, for real.
Until later in the movie.
When it jumps from the...
off the wardrobe. Yeah. That was a bit of a tangent, but yeah, definitely Insidious, I don't know what's going on.
But going back to the horror maze, give me a film where it's just After Hours Weekend and he's like playing the Michael Myers role.
I'm telling, like, I've wanted him to do a visual album for time now.
Yeah.
Just... I mean, we're getting there with not After Hours, Dawn FM, where almost every song has a music video. So
yeah,
keep it going.
Hours had a ton of music videos.
Yeah,
plus the actual After Hours short film.
Well, and all the live performances that sort of stitched it together as well.
Mm.
But yeah, absolutely. I mean, that might be what we're getting with this series he's doing with the guy that did Euphoria.
Yes.
Where it seems kind of booky and horror influence, certainly.
I'm excited for that, though.
Same, because it sounds like Euphoria season 3 is like falling apart at the seams. So
Yeah. I don't know what's happening with Euphoria.
I don't know, Bearcast saying they're not coming back.
Well, I know the actress that plays the one that she's a cam girl.
Yeah.
She's
not
already
coming
out.
back. Yeah, and I saw rumours that Alexa Demi, what's her character's name? I can't think of her name.
What's her character? Who?
The one that's with...
Not the one that's with Fez.
No. The like... I've forgotten everyone's name in that show. She's with... In season 1, she's with
Nate.
Nate. She's with Nate.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Maddie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen rumours that she's not coming back, and I'm like, you're running out of cast here, man. Like,
I know Cassie's actress. Like, she had a bit of...
Yeah.
She was getting it on.
Some hot water.
Which would be a shame.
You'll miss the visuals.
The two visuals.
The cinematography. I don't know how they'll match up on season 3.
It'll literally just be Zendaya left. Like, just be Rue.
That'll be
like,
it.
Tripping.
The whole season.
Yeah, I don't know, because season 3 needs to come back after season
2. 2 was too hit or miss.
It took a lot of liberties. Like,
Yeah. Writing... I don't know, you'd get some plot lines where you're like, this is amazing, and then others you'd be like, where the hell is this going?
It was a lot less focused.
For sure. Shall we shift into gaming? Because we've got quite a bit, actually.
I'm down.
We've got sort of three big chunky topics, I would say, for gaming. So we'll start. We'll cutting edge, breaking news with talk a bit about, I guess, the GTA 6 leaks.
Yeah, so obviously everyone's talking about that.
Obviously, there's going to be more, I'm sure. Like, this will be out of date probably by the end of today.
Yeah.
Because it just sounds like so much has been leaked. I've seen some people already, like gaming journalists, say like this is probably the biggest leak in like video game history. Because it's not just the footage; it's like source code and stuff.
It's so much stuff. Like even the footage itself, like you can see the code is on the screen. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's clearly like the developers. It's
100%.
test footage, isn't it? Like
yeah, because
it truest sense.
I was going to say because from what I've seen, it's from about 2019, and I saw people calling it fake because they were like, "No, it's just GTA 5," and I was like, "That's how games work. Like they build them off the last one, like." You can find footage of Destiny running on Halo Reach where they're like testing out different stuff, and it's just like an awkward, like basically looks like someone modded Halo Reach,
which is kinda what the test footage looks like.
I was gonna say it looks like someone sort of modded GTA 5.
I mean, like, I don't get the people that are saying this looks shit because like it's from 2019.
Yeah, and like any game, like this isn't even alpha footage. This is like test.
It's like I said, like the code is literally on the screen. Like,
yeah,
the commands. Like it's literally.
I'm amazed it looked as good as it did.
Yeah,
like that it was as functional.
Because obviously, like the next gen weren't even out.
Yeah.
When that would have been.
Yeah, no, because that 2020 wasn't it? Obviously, they might have had like dev kits and stuff.
They might have.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd imagine Rockstar would.
Probably, yeah.
Or maybe they were doing it on a PC build and were like kind of trying to guess what the new consoles would be able to do. I don't know.
A thing. I'm not sure, like with GTA 6, like, because I'm down for like Vice City.
Yes.
I like Vice City. I like the aesthetics.
Yeah, Florida. That's why you were out there, isn't it?
Exactly.
You were scouting out Vice City.
I was out there for two things: to give us intel on the Weeknd maze horror experience, and to location
scout Vice City.
Scout Vice City. And I'm here for it. Like,
it's certainly probably the most iconic GTA city, where the visual, you just know Vice City. It's that neon, like, beaches, palm trees, Hawaiian shirt. Like, it's so that vibe.
And like, I'm happy with that, because Liberty City, like, I mean, it's the one that's due, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because
we did Liberty, then
Los
we
Santos.
skipped to Los Santos, and then now I guess it'll be Vice City, and hopefully it'll be like GTA 5, where it's sort of the state. I think that could be cool if you get like all of Florida in there. Or maybe it'll be even bigger. I don't know, because obviously fucking Red Dead 2 was like how many states?
I mean, you had like the whole of Red Dead 1 in.
Exactly. And that's like a bonus area.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even go to most of it in the game. You have to go there of your own like volition.
The thing that I'll be disappointed in is if it's not at least on par with Red Dead 2 in terms of like mechanics.
I get what you mean.
And like graphically, like, because Red Dead 2, like we just said,
game of the generation.
Like, genuinely though, it had the whole of the first game in like a tiny bit in the corner
Literally.
of the second game.
Because I remember that leaked as well. The map leaked ages before the game was announced, because everyone was like, this is fake. They were like, Red Dead's whole map is in here. In like a little corner. Obviously fake.
Yeah.
And then like, I remember when Red Dead 2 came out, I like looked and I was like, holy shit, that map was real. So I can only imagine, like, yeah, I hope they have the same attitude. I hope GTA 6 is in a quick, like, we need to make more money off GTA Online job.
In my logically thinking, there's no reason for them to do that, because they still make so much money off 5. So like, if you were a normal sane person, you'd be like, 5's still making us so much money, so let's take our time with this game.
Oh,
there's no reason to rush to make money.
Yeah.
Because they're making more money than, like, GTA
God.
5 probably makes more money, than like half of the games out still.
Genuinely.
So it's like,
it's consistently the top earning game. I think it earns more than FIFA.
I
and
wouldn't be
FIFA's
surprised.
like a money fucking printing machine.
And it comes out yearly.
Exactly.
So in my head, it's like, you have no reason to rush this for a cash grab, because
Absolutely.
you make like the most cash.
And you've already ported GTA 5 to the new consoles, so you can't even argue, but we're missing out on next gen.
Exactly.
So yeah, hopefully, I mean, I'm a little bit worried because like Dan Houser has left Rockstar, and obviously he's been with them from the start. You know, he's been like the head writer on all their games, more or less. So I'm a bit nervous in the sense of like, I don't know what GTA is without him. I'm not saying it will be bad. It does give me a bit of pause where I am a bit like, I hope like whoever's in charge now has the vision to keep it. And a couple of people like that have left in sort of writing roles and that give, you know, GTA its personality. Because that's a lot of what makes GTA stand out from Watch Dogs, like whatever open world car game you want to talk about is, number one, the ambition, and number two, the writing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I hope both those things do keep carrying on. Because every Rockstar game has always pushed the boundaries of technology, of innovation.
Definitely, like, if going back to like Red Dead 2, if that released tomorrow, you'd be like, this is like one of the best games on PS5.
You can do it. GTA 4 still has a more lifelike city than most of these open world games.
Yeah.
Just the city alone. Like, yes, graphically, but as a technological achievement, that game alone, and then you bring in Red Dead 1, Red Dead 2, GTA 5, like, they stand the test of time for a reason. If Watch Dogs had released when GTA 5 did, and they just kept re-releasing it, that's not going to stand the test of time.
No,
like,
not at all.
any game like that, a Saints Row, I don't know, driver.
The new Saints Row is like a perfect example. I've seen some of the gameplay of that, and like it doesn't even hold a candle to like the original GTA 5.
Literally.
On like PS3, 360.
That's the thing. People want to take GTA's crown without putting in any of the effort at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And as I said, there's a reason Rockstar are on top when it comes to those sort of things.
I hope that's what we get with GTA 6, where it's like the mechanics of like Red Dead. Not in like the sense of, I know how like in depth Red Dead was with the like eating and
yeah. I get what I mean. I don't need it to be a simulator but
I mean like
GTA is always more cartoony.
Exactly, but at least from like a visual movement.
I said sort of the ambition of the game.
Yeah,
I want to match
as the minimum. Like, there's no excuses for it not to be.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't even mind them to keep some. Not obviously they're building a campfire and this and that, but I would like them to keep the sense of like living in that world, because I think that's what vanished between GTA 4 and GTA 5 for me. Is 4 makes you feel like you live in Liberty City. You can go in the restaurants, you can go on dates, you can do this and that. Like you feel like you are Nico Bellic in this big sprawling American nightmare of a city.
Yeah.
Whereas GTA 5 felt a bit more cartoony, a bit more, you know, scaled back on that thing. Whereas like you can't go in a lot of buildings, you can't do this, you can't do that. So I would like them to sort of take that from Red Dead 2 and build it a bit more, where it's like you really Red Dead 2, like you feel like you are Arthur Morgan living in the fucking Wild West.
For real.
Like, so I would like, as you said, not the like survival mechanics, but just like the sense of being in the world and like the influence you can have on your character and like the mini games and that sort of thing. I would like to see more of that carried over.
Yeah. Definitely.
But we'll see. I wonder what effect these leaks will have on the game's release. Will it delay it?
Will it force like an announcement? Like, I know it's been announced that GTA 6 will happen, but like, will it force like a little graphic of the title?
A teaser?
Yeah.
Because how far along are they from this? If this is 2019, this is prior to COVID. How big of an effect did COVID have on this game's development? Did it delay it? Did it maybe it actually benefited being able to do it remotely?
I was thinking, in your head, you think if this is 2019, like it's been 3 years, so surely the game's like at least like 60-70% done.
That's what I'm saying. Like you would hope, like,
but then obviously because of COVID,
that's the thing. It sort of throws a spanner away. As I said, I could see it going either way. Yeah, at the end of the day, GTA is the video game franchise. It's like up there with like your iconic like Mario and I don't know, like a Halo or Call of Duty. It's like it's an institution. Like when it drops, people notice.
And it's like with franchises like Call of Duty, not everyone is on that anymore. Or like with
well, they're regular.
Yeah. Or like
aren't they?
With like your Marios and your Zeldas is like, okay, but that's only on Nintendo. Like with GTA, when that releases, like every person who owns a console will like buy that.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is the best-selling piece of Western media in any format ever. Movie, book, anything. That's off Rockstar's like second biggest franchise. That's not like, and GTA is like Red Dead is a big franchise, but fucking GTA is like,
I mean, look how like the difference in support.
Exactly,
because Red Dead is like this.
Red Dead Online, by the way.
Such a shame. You have like one of the best crafted games ever, from mechanics, visuals, and it didn't get no support.
None.
Compared to a like 10-year-old game, which like got way more support.
And re-releases and every like.
It didn't even get like the same DLC the first one got. There was like no Undead Nightmare.
Yeah, as I said, I was so good. That was more than the online. I was like, I really hope we get Undead Nightmare 2. Like a cool Halloween fucking zombie. Because that was like a whole campaign. Like that wasn't just like, oh, we did a zombie mode in online. Like, no, that was a whole campaign story. Like, Imagine how cool it'd been if like fucking the camp, it's like Arthur Morgan crawls out of his fucking grave. Like you could have done so many cool things with sick. That. Like
just with the mechanics as well. Like it would have been like hilarious to see.
Yeah, man. Because
people would have done with it.
I was gonna say like it. Under Nightmare was legitimately great. Like had no right to be, because that's when everyone was doing zombie modes. Like literally, it had no. Or you could have done something different. You could have done it like I don't know, it's fucking vampires or something.
Aliens.
Yeah,
both
aliens.
which like a tease in the.
I was gonna
game.
say. Like, you could have done sort of werewolves or literally anything. You could have made a really cool expansion. And so I was a bit like, oh, that's such a shame. A bit like with GTA 5, you know. Ballad of Gay Tony and Lost and Damned are, like, fantastic expansions for 4. And so it was like, oh, man, I can only imagine what they'll do for 5 with its character swapping mechanic. And nah.
Yeah.
Nah, that's it. Because, like... Those added so much to GTA 4 that isn't in the base game, like parachutes and attack choppers. And
it gave it so much of a bigger lifespan as well.
Yeah.
But the thing I find interesting is like with 5, it's like, okay, we didn't get story DLC, but there's a reason. Because like,
here's all the
at
online.
the time, everyone was like, yeah, give us online.
Yeah,
everyone loved online. Whereas like Red Dead is like, okay, we're not going to give you story DLC.
And we're
not going to give you online DLC.
It's because you all want GTA Online.
Yeah, but it's like...
But it's like it feels like nobody is satisfied with online, like GTA Online, because everyone's going, give us something, give us a new area, give us this, give us that. And they were like, new area only if you're doing a mission, though. It's not actually a free roam thing.
Yeah.
You know, and we saw it with expanded and enhanced GTA 5, where very quickly they were like, oh, it's just a port.
Yeah. I just find it like it's so disappointing to see.
Yeah,
when you look at how good Red Dead 2 is, if it received support,
absolutely.
Like I said, it could have been either, could have been single player or online. If
it
received support, like it could have been even so much more than what it is.
Yeah, as I said, to me because going back to like those expansions for 4. They added so many like iconic things to the like characters even. Like Gay Tony is an iconic. They brought him back for GTA 5 and it's like, what did 5 get? Like the guy that calls you up for what is his name? Gerald.
Oh yeah. Oh,
everyone's favorite fucking character. Like I don't know. It really felt like very lazy. And that's been my main worry with a lot of Rockstar stuff. Whether it's obviously the remasters we got of the OG couple of GTAs were done by a different studio, so maybe we'll get cut some slack for that. I don't know, but it felt like it was like stacking up, where it's like you're not getting a new game. You're not getting expansions for Red Dead Online, single player or multiplayer. You're not getting single player expansions for GTA 5.
Yeah.
The online is getting very lazy, basic expansions that don't add like new areas or anything. And also we're doing these remasters that are fucking dog shit.
I'm hoping...
And we're not fixing them. Sorry.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like, I pray that's because just everyone was so focused on GTA 6.
Yeah.
And it's like one team doing GTA Online updates that's like 10 people.
Well, like, I'm hoping what it is from the timings of the leaks, 2019, blah, 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 they made a decision where they're like, we have enough manpower to concentrate on GTA 6 and then do like and then we can outsource remasters. And the other thing we'll focus on is the online for GTA 5 because that makes us the most money. Yeah. I'm hoping that's what it is.
Yeah,
instead
literally.
of like they're crumbling creatively and they're just getting lazy.
As I said, hopefully it just looks like that from where we are. You know what I mean? Because we see the worst of it.
And the timeline now that we're finding out, presumably they've been working on 6 since at least 2019.
And hopefully it's been a team working on it, not just like a little group.
Surely it must have been.
I mean, they have like 8 studios, and what are they all doing?
That is a good.
Because you know, before it used to be they all used to release different games. You know, one of them made Bully, one of them made Red Dead. Obviously, the main studio made GTA. But now it's like they all just work on one game at a time, where it's like they outsource different bits.
Yeah.
So it's like I hope the main manpower's been focused on 6 and just one of the studios been cranking out online. A bit like we've seen with how, whilst fucking Halo Infinite implodes in on itself, Master Chief Collection just keeps getting updates because there's like one team that's just dedicated to, no, we'll keep providing this. So,
and like, albeit like, I know recently the GTA 5 content slowed down, but if you look at from like 2018 onwards, like, it's been consistently getting updates.
Yeah, absolutely.
So obviously that does take time.
I mean, that was the Red Dead Online people's complaint, even when it was getting updates, was we get an update every 6 months. GTA Online got an update every month.
Yeah. So, who knows? Hopefully, like, 6 is such a big project, they've had to, like, shelve...
And surely, because it will outsell every video game ever. It will outsell everything. Yeah. I mean, GTA 5 was the biggest media launch in history.
And, like, if it doesn't meet expectations... there'll be like an outcry.
Absolutely.
Like whether that's fair or not, it just if it's not as good as people think it will be in their heads.
If it's lazy at the end of the day, people will notice.
And like it can't be buggy, it can't be anything like.
Because we've seen that so much with games. I think people are if GTA can't release feature complete, I think people will finally have enough.
Yeah. Because
it's like they've put up with every franchise.
And this has been such a long wait.
Yeah.
Where it's like they've milked everyone for money for like
2 consoles have released since that game.
It's the same exact thing with the next Elder Scrolls.
Oh yeah.
Albeit like GTA I think is more pressure.
Who do you think has the better approach? Where Elder Scrolls have sort of been like, we announced it, we're not going to talk about it, versus Rockstar's, we're not going to announce it, we're just going to let, every time we do something, you all scream at us, where's GTA 6? Who do you think's smarter?
I think Rockstar, because like, okay, Bethesda have announced it, but like, where that got announced in like what, 2019?
Something like that.
Like, and we've had nothing.
Nothing.
Which tells me like the announcement was just, okay, we're doing this so you get.
Well, because they're doing this Starfield game, right?
And that
which sounds like it's gonna.
That's gonna take. They're gonna let that run for like a while.
I think that's gonna be a No Man's Sky situation or whatever game you want to pick, where it's really. I mean, it's Bethesda. Their games are always broken anyway.
And it like literally looks like No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Like the travel and all this shit.
We'll see, I suppose. That's the thing with Rockstar. I trust them, but the trust has been whittled down as low as it can go. It's not like if straight after Red Dead 2 you had told me GTA 6 next, whereas that like restored my faith. But since then, just with the mismanagement of Red Dead Online, the boringness of GTA 5 Online, the fucking remasters being a disaster, it is like, okay, you guys are really stretching my faith in you.
Yeah.
Thank God Remedy got the rights to Max Payne 1 and 2 back and are remaking them themselves. Where they're like, no, that was our game originally, so Rockstar, you can
stay away. Nah, I'm not sure, but I do think they're taking the better approach.
Yeah,
obviously so. Now like backfired, but this is the leaks, but they couldn't really. I was gonna
say you can't really help that.
Yeah.
So we'll see, I guess.
And like realistically, no one ever thought we're never gonna get GTA 6.
Yeah, of
eventually
course.
They were always gonna.
Money talks at the end. I know everyone always goes, but GTA Online makes too much money. But it's like, yeah, but they will make even more money. Because I'll bet the money GTA Online makes now is nothing compared to what it made week or year one.
No way.
Like it's always going to peak off because less and less people will play it.
And there's only
so it'll be like it will eventually reach a point where they're like, it's not making enough. Like, okay, it might be 2 decades from now, but they're going to be greedy. Oh, I want to buy a new yacht. Can we spike it back up here again?
Yeah, like genuinely, like even somehow we don't get a GTA 6 throughout the PS5's lifespan.
I think it'll be the next 3 years.
Hopefully. But there's no way like it would get... Eventually, it would be too outdated.
Yeah, 100%.
Because the base game, no matter how much you brush it
and
up...
people will turn on it eventually.
Yeah.
Like, because everyone will have played it. No one's gonna be like, let me buy it again. Like, they've already done it twice.
Yeah.
As I said, it might have been where it would take like 2 decades for that to happen, but it would eventually reach a point where it's like, all right, I'm not fucking buying it.
It's just a question of how long.
Yeah.
Whereas like Bethesda, like I know Elder Scrolls is, it's Bethesda. Like they are like, their recent track record for me is worse than Rockstar. Like.
Oh yeah, was it Fallout 4, Fallout 76? What else have they dropped?
Fucking no, did they do Prey or were they?
They did. No, they didn't do Prey. They produced Prey. Prey was the guys that did Dishonored. Shout out to them. Prey. Dub. Rare dub. Rare dub in the.
But yeah, like Fallout 76 was like one of the worst games released at launch.
That's like, I was gonna say, like one of the 3rd most awful launches in recent history. It's like that, Master Chief Collection. They might be neck and neck, you know. No, Master Chief Collection might have to take it because that was like broken.
Yeah,
that, like you couldn't play online.
How can you have like a game that doesn't work when you have like 3 games there? Whereas like 76 was, I guess, but in 76, like
I remember it was.
They were like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know which is worse. Just I can't play it, or I can play it, but it's fucking busted.
And it was like hidden behind paywalls.
Yeah. It just works.
Just
Shout out to Todd Howard. That's him, right? I'm not fucking him up with the Joker guy. I always get him muddled up. It's Todd Howard.
Todd Howard.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah. I was like, Todd Howard isn't the guy that directed Joker.
That's Todd Phillips.
Yes. I always get them in my brain. They're one person. Todd Howard directed Joker.
But yeah, with the leaks, it's too early to say anything. All I can say is I'm here for Vice City.
I'm here for it.
I'm here for them. One point I wanted to make, I know GTA is like always a parody,
right?
And this might sound stupid, but obviously it's looking like it's a female protagonist. So I wonder if that in itself.
Can't wait for the discourse on that.
There will be, but I wonder if that in itself is a parody of like.
Yeah, I could see that.
You know how like modern audiences are like, oh, it had to be a female.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they make a play with that.
I think
it came into my head. I was like,
that is a good point. Or like a play on like how, you know, there's a movement of like, we need to tell more stories centered about people that aren't the usual center of them. And it's a parody of like, yeah, what about when you put them in like a GTA story where it's a fucking crime, like, you know, she's not going to be a good person.
Yeah.
So you're right. I hadn't even thought of that. That does have a lot of like,
because like Rockstar, especially with 5, like almost every character was like a parody. The whole game was like, you know, it's taking the piss out of like.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe.
Well, I mean, even 4
and
4 is like, it's a lot darker in its humor, but they're like taking the piss out of so many things, and it's sort of like.
So just when I like saw like it was the female protagonist, I was like, are they gonna make this like a bit where it's like,
yeah, that could be.
I thought that would be funny because
fans,
there will be fans that are like, why the fuck am I playing? They ruined GTA.
The guy from The Boys season 3.
The
Homelander Stan. No, no, the guy that steals MM's girl. Him.
Guy.
They'll be like, it's just a woman.
They've even like made GTA woke.
Yeah, I'll be interested. It's funny seeing people, because there are already people saying that. I'm like, you can play as a woman in GTA Online. I mean, it never makes sense, but I'm like, what were you expecting? Like, I don't know. And I assume that there's no way they don't keep the character switching mechanic. Yeah, I think we already know that from leaks ages ago.
But in the leaks, there's like a dude as well.
Like
some of the screenshots are like a guy.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I remember
when
it wasn't like picture leaks, it was just text leaks that obviously now we know must be true, because it was talking about it's set in Vice City, it's a man and a woman that you play as. Like I said, I remember from then that it was like, yeah, there's more than one playable protagonist. Like,
which I think is perfect.
Yeah, definitely. I think 2, if it's only 2, that's a better decision, because 3, they were a bit spread thin. In 5, I thought.
Yeah.
Where none of them really get enough.
Yeah, if it's like you play as like one character's the brother, one's the sister. Or,
or something.
Or it's
like
like they're a couple. Or,
yeah, or you could do it where they're ops. You could do a really cool thing where they're both trying to like kill each other, or rival, like rival bank robbers or something. You could do a lot of cool stuff there.
Or they could have just been testing a male model and a female model, and we don't know what the protagonist.
Could all be bullshit.
Yeah.
So, before we go into the next big topic, I can't remember. Are you an Assassin's Creed fan? I can't remember. I feel like the last time Assassin's Creed was relevant, I wasn't even friends with you. That's how long it's been.
I like the games. Like, when when 1 came out, I played that a lot. But I was quite young. 1, 2, like
Brotherhood, that era, yeah.
The ones everyone likes. And,
I was gonna say.
And I really like Black Flag.
Oh yeah, the pirate one.
That was different. 3, I'm a fan of the vibe, like the saying.
Yeah, that's sort of.
And then bar that, like.
Yeah. So yeah, sort of the original run.
And then the others are just like, I've played like the 2 most recent ones.
That's more than I can say.
And like, I didn't like them both.
I saw gameplay and went, absolutely not.
Like, then they're like they're not. I know it's like the popular thing to say, but they're not like Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah, they look like an RPG that just like happens to tie into the story.
And like barely. Like, and they get
you wear a hood.
Yeah. And even then it's like optional.
Yeah.
It's not even like, and they get so out there. Like the Greek one, Odyssey.
Seems like they really leaned into the aspects of Assassin's Creed that the people don't really like, which is like the weird future sci-fi stuff.
That, and I don't know, they get too mythical. Like, I know, like the whole, I know it's a video game and like the story's never been like realistic, but they get too mythical with it. Where it's like you fight like Greek gods and shit.
I'll swear.
I'm pretty sure in the DLC for Odyssey. Interesting. And Valhalla as well. Like, have you seen the gameplay for the DLC for that? I think you literally get like powers.
Okay, that does not surprise. I've been so tuned out of Assassin's Creed since that original run. I didn't even make it to Black, because 3 I thought was, like you said, I liked the vibe, but it was a very mixed bag of a game. Black Flag, I went, I don't really care. I heard it was great. I went, cool, but I didn't play it. And then after that, I played Unity for like an hour, because I played it after it got fixed, and I was like, oh, this is fine. Didn't care enough to keep playing it. And then after that, I haven't played a single. I didn't play Syndicate or any of the RPG ones. Every year it comes out, I see like 5 minutes of gameplay and go, no, absolutely not. There's no way.
Which is like fair, because I don't know, it's weird with Assassin's Creed because they like fell into like the COD thing, whereas like every game's the same.
Yeah.
And they like took a year out, came back with Origins, which is like the Egyptian one.
Yeah.
And people liked that, and then they just went back to releasing the game every year
and doing the same thing. They're like, oh, you got burnt out on the old style. You like this new style, so we'll burn you out on the new style now.
And like every game leans into more of a different style. Like, and pretty much what they are is like a massive map, which is like way too big.
Like obscenely big, like, from what I've seen.
Massive, like to the point where it's like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
There's like way too much stuff going on, and like there's barely any like parkour. You're not an assassin as well.
Yeah.
So I never got why. Well, I know why they kept it Assassin's Creed, because like money and stuff.
It's Ubisoft's franchise at the end of the day, their flagship.
Yeah, they should have just called it, given it a spin-off title, like Tales from.
Yeah, people always said they should have done like Pirates Creed, and just spun off Black Flag, and done like pirate games.
They were gonna make like a pirate game, weren't they? Skull and Bones.
Yeah, something like that. That rings a bell.
And I think it's still coming out like after like 10
I was gonna say that was ages ago. Sea of Thieves took their thunder. But did you? So have you seen the new announcements? Because Assassin's Creed announced about 5 games.
Yes.
2 of them mobile games. So 3 games.
Yes.
Obviously, the next one is Assassin's Creed Mirage,
which is the one they're claiming is going to be an old AC.
Yes,
game.
And then there's also two more. One is an feudal Japan setting, and the other is like a witch trials setting.
Which is probably the one I'm most hyped for, the witch trials one.
I feel like the monkey's paw thing, where it's like you make a wish and it like snakes you. I feel like I did that with Assassin's Creed, where I took the monkey's paw and I went, please, Assassin's Creed, go back to your old style. And they went, oh, and make a feudal Japan game. And they went, okay. And it curled 2 wishes off. And it was like, so we're making an old style game, but it's just like, it looks like the same setting as 1.
Yeah, that was my thing.
Where I was like, oh, I wanted that, but in like a new thing, or just remake 1. Like do 1 or the, because 1 is a cool game, but a remake could actually improve it.
Just do like the Call of Duty thing, where it's like called Modern Warfare. Just call it Assassin's Creed 1. Like it's
Assassin's Creed,
kind of the same story.
Or do the Resident Evil thing, where it is a remake, but it's like built again from the ground, new cutscenes, new gameplay. Like you proper overhaul it.
Well,
But this just looks like they were like, okay, we want you to know this is old school Assassin's Creed, so it's set in the Middle East and I think Altair's in the trailer. Obviously, he's not the main character. The main character's from one of the new games that I don't give a shit about. He's like a supporting character. And it's like, yeah, the Middle East are back to chopping the fingers off so the hidden blade comes alive. It's OG Assassin's Creed, but it's like, I wish it was new, because then I was like, oh, but they're doing a feudal Japan one and they've gone back to the old style, and it's like,
that's gonna be,
that's the RP, that and the Witch Trials one is the RPG style, so it's like, oh damn it.
And it's like, the thing you're saying is, it's like a few years ago everyone was like, yeah, Viking AC game,
that'll be sick.
We got that, and like no one liked it. Like, no person who likes the old games liked it. And like, I don't know, it's like the new AC games are like everything that's wrong with like modern gaming. It's like, you want content,
a million fetch quests,
but
collectibles,
every quest line is just shit and boring. The map is massive, but like there's nothing
I was gonna say
map. I don't know,
a bit like you said, a bit like the new Saints Row and that, where it's just like, and it's stuff to do.
Yeah, like nothing interesting or fun, which is why you play games.
But it has no like identity, because before you're like Assassin's Creed, Hidden Blade, parkour. Now it's like RPG mechanics.
But I don't get this. The thing I'm confused about now is like, if you're doing this, why are the other 2 games still called Assassin's Creed then? Like, why does it have to be connected?
Because they're really trying to connect it. They're like, it's going to have one launcher. They're trying to do the Master Chief Collection thing, where it's like you get it all in one thing. You download one thing and you have all the games.
It's just, why do you need that with Assassin's Creed?
Genuinely. As I said, in a way, I would have been more hyped if they'd said, like, we're remaking 1 from the ground up. Because then you'd go, oh, maybe they'll do 2, 3.
Just like, use the Mirage game to like reboot the series. And when a game is called Assassin's Creed, it's leading from that. And then like this Japan one and whatever, just call it something else. Like,
that's the thing. Call it Ghosts of Tsushima. Oh wait, we made that.
And the thing is, if they don't call it something else, people will be like, this new IP from Ubisoft is bland and bloated.
Because that's the thing. If people really fuck with Mirage, what's next? Because your next 2 Assassin's Creed games aren't going to be that style. People are going to go, oh, I really like this. They're back. Let me buy the next one. Oh, Feudal Japan, sick. Samurai ninjas, love it. Oh no, it's a fucking enormous, it's a life-size map of Japan.
Which is so weird, because like, that would be the best game on paper to work as like an OG Assassin's Creed game.
Since the first game dropped, everyone's been going, you've got to do this with ninjas.
Yeah.
Because basically the appeal is ninjas in a historical setting. So just put ninjas in their original historical setting and money.
Yeah.
But this is like, okay, we're finally doing what you wanted, but I got ya.
And what's the Witchcraft one going to be then? Like, the idea is what hyped me. But,
Same.
But like, what is gameplay wise?
I bet it's they're gonna hype you up. Oh, it's gonna be like it'll be like fucking the MCU where they're like, this is the scariest. It's fucking Doctor Strange is a horror movie, and then you watch it and you're like, oh, it's just another one of these. It'll be that, but like with a bloated open where you're like, oh, this is the horror. This is a survival. We took a lot of cues from survival horror games, and then you'll boot it up and it'll be a massive open world with like 6 million tasks to do and
the thing is,
an RPG tree, and you'll be like, oh no, they got me.
And like the sentence, this will be the scariest AC game, doesn't really mean much, because like Assassin's Creed ain't like, when has it been scary?
Literally, when has it even been like tense? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, so like the
in a way, what hyped me when I very initially saw all these announcements is I thought these are all different genres of game. Like, I was like, are they doing a survival horror game and just tying it to the brand? Where it's like, this is about some bloke that accidentally uncovers an alien artifact and fucking weird shit happens in the witch times. And it's like connected to AC loosely. It's like, no, this is still an AC game. Because like you said, what does that mean? It's the scariest Assassin's Creed. I kind of wish they'd just gone, no, AC is now just a brand. It can be any genre. You can come to us and be like, I want to make an AC game, and like you give us a pitch and we're like, sure, you could put Altair in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just either go all the way where it's a franchise and loses all meaning, or like, please keep the identity. Do one or the other.
But like, it's because the thing is, like, the idea of the modern world in Assassin's Creed games would lend itself perfectly to what you just said. Whereas like, just call it like what's the thing called? The Animus? Or
yes, the Animus.
Just call the spin-off games like Tales from the Animus.
Yeah.
Witchcraft or whatever.
Yeah, or like Assassin's Creed Chronicles.
Yeah, but when you do Assassin's Creed Valhalla Odyssey,
yeah.
Like, I don't get it, because you're not an assassin and you're not really in a creed. Like,
yeah, literally. And it's not a subtitle. It's not enough that it's just like in brackets, like, oh, this is connected to Assassin's Creed. Like, no, this is the next big game. And like, you're spending millions and millions of dollars to make this.
And I don't get in the direction they went, because like Origins was literally, yes, the gameplay is different, but like the guy you play as is like the first assassin. Like, you're in ancient Egypt. You know, he's got the hood. Blah blah blah, and then it's like, yeah, now you're in Greece. You're like
fighting Medusa or whatever, I guess.
Yeah. Like, and then they do the same with the Vikings. It's like, because the Viking, I only played like a few hours of it, but you literally meet two assassins, and like, I don't know, maybe in the story you like join them, but you are literally a Viking.
Oh, you're not.
And you like storm England.
I see. You're not.
Like,
you're not actually a part of the Assassin's Creed.
No, you like travel over there with your clan. Blah blah blah.
I see.
And it's about you like sacking England, like.
Right.
So, again, it's like, how.
Why even call it that?
Why are the two assassins making a cameo?
Yeah, I get what you mean. Well, and I guess now one of them is going to get his own spin-off.
Is that what it is?
I think it's one of them. I know he's in Valhalla.
So it must be, yeah.
Because they're like, oh, it's a spin-off. And yeah, as I said, I looked like Altair was in it in the trailer. So I guess they're connecting it to one. Maybe. I don't know. Or it was just a dude that they put in the classic look. Either way, as I said, Assassin's Creed, I don't know. We'll see. I'm a bit... pessimistic when it comes to that series nowadays. Do Infinite or Warzone? Or I suppose Modern Warfare 2 as a whole, not just Warzone, but obviously Warzone will be the main thing.
Should we touch on Infinite first?
Let's get into this shit. Let me find the roadmap. So, for those of you that don't know, Halo Infinite recently released their roadmap for season 3. I don't know. They're not very high. Not as high as we should be. Oh yeah, they cheated. So season 3, and they've got like a winter update. They're cheating. They're like, oh no, we meant it when we said the seasons aren't that long anymore. But when one season stops now, we just aren't in anything until a new season that happens to be 3 months later. So they dropped this roadmap, and it was negatively received, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
Fire 343 started trending repeatedly. Nobody seemed happy. I didn't see one person with a positive thing to say. Even the like biggest Halo suck ups that I see, where they just whatever. Thank you 343. Thank you. Thank God. Like the most starving fans there are. Even they were like, this game needs to do better. It's dying, or realistically, it's dead. But they need to do more. And then there's been a couple of high-profile shake-ups at 343. The head of the studio left for family issues. She said family health issues, so hopefully her family is all right. But I think it's safe to say that it was probably Microsoft ushering her out as well, I would guess. It is too... It's too timed at a certain point. Generally in business, if someone leaves for personal reasons, not that those personal reasons don't exist, but it's a mixture of that and the higher ups coming in and saying, we don't want to fire you because that looks bad on us because we hired you. So if we then fire you, we look incompetent. But we would like you to leave and we'll give you all these bonuses and da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? Like, generally in big business, that's how that shit works. So... as I said, 343 has been shaken up quite dramatically since this roadmap dropped. This,
where do we start then? So I think...
are you playing Halo Infinite? I suppose it's a good place to start. Because I'm not.
I haven't played it since...
we talked about it on the pod.
Yeah. Like, everything I said, like, the multiplayer was fun. There's just no content. Like, and now, obviously, the main thing fans are upset about is they've gone back and now co-op campaign,
split screen co-op campaign
is not happening.
After 5 years ago, they promised.
They said, like,
repeatedly,
it would be a feature.
And to add insult to injury, people the same day that announcement happened, they glitches managed to glitch split screen into Infinite,
and like
it
works well.
Yeah, like obviously it's not perfect, but
it works well enough. I found it very confusing because first, like you said, they promised it for how long?
5 years, literally 5 years. After Halo 5 came out, about a year or so after that, they came out and said, look, we fucked up. We realise split screen is part of Halo's identity at the end of the day.
Which it is.
Without a doubt, I've seen a lot of people be like, nobody plays split screen anymore. And it's like, I don't think you can quantify that.
If you don't have friends,
like you know what I mean. Like if you live with someone, you're not going to announce to the world, "I'm playing split screen today." It's not like something you can keep track of, like multiplayer. Like, oh, did they load into a match?
Yeah,
that's very easy to keep track of. I think split screen is an unquantifiable thing, where it's like, I don't know how popular it is, but you should always have more options than less.
Well, and this is the thing. It's like, split screen has always been like a fallback for so many people.
Definitely.
Where it's like, especially now, where it's like everything depends on internet. Like, it was a fallback. Okay, the internet's gone down, blah, 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 blah. We can play split screen.
Yeah.
We're having like a get-together with friends. Let's play split screen.
And I think for most people, that's how they were introduced to Halo.
I mean, for like me and you, it was.
I was going to say, literally, most people I know started Halo playing split screen with someone else, then went and bought the game themselves. And you know what I mean? Like that, it's free marketing. It's free real estate.
And for like a broader sense, if you're a younger kid, like chances are, if you live in a household, you and your brother or
you and your dad or whatever, yeah.
Most chances are you're gonna have one console.
Mm.
Like, it's not like there's PS5s out there for everyone. So like a split screen experience, I don't know. I would argue, like it's like you said, it should be like a bare bones thing you have as a fallback at least.
I was gonna say, if you sat me down and were like, what 5 things does every Halo game need? To me, it's like campaign, multiplayer, Forge, split screen, and like we can get into the reads of like what modes of that multiplayer should be in there.
Yeah,
like that's what every Halo needs. Oh, customization, I guess I'll add as like, to me, every Halo needs multiplayer, and as I said, you can argue over what modes it needs, but it needs a multiplayer, a campaign. You need to be able to do both those things split screen, a Forge, and customization. Yeah. That if you don't have any of those things in your Halo, or are missing one of those things, or missing several of those things, in Infinite's case, you've failed. Like, you've missed the appeal of your franchise.
And the thing is, like, so many fans would have respected it more if they would have came out before the game came out and was like, we just can't do it.
Yeah, because it's open world. They could have made a million bullshit excuses.
Like, no one would have liked it, but I bet you'd have a lot less angry people than you have now when you've made them wait nearly a year after launch to then be like, you're not getting it.
Yeah.
And they've clearly like worked on it to a standard because, like you say, you can glitch it.
Glitch has managed to do it.
So I don't know what the reason was.
Like, I think the studio is falling apart. Genuinely,
though, because we still haven't got Forge, which we get. Is the beta out for it, or I know it was on the road,
but people like glitched it.
I saw that
they like hacked in and made Forge. Like, that's it. The beta don't come out till between November 8th and March 7th.
Which
sometime in between then. And once again, beta. So, and I will say, it does look impressive. The thing is, I don't think it will save this game, because Forge is a niche thing. The creations of Forge aren't niche. Like, when they go mainstream, like Writer's Mind, Ducky Zombies, Prison Break, Fat Kid, all them old school Halo Forge modes, custom matches on custom maps, those went mainstream. But the number of people that actually made maps is a very niche community. And so it's not going to bring back 1 million players to your game.
And this is the issue, because with like previous Halo games, we've said it before on here, like, Forge gave the developers like a free pass, where it's like, you have this mode where people will make maps for you. They make content for you.
Absolutely.
And fans like would love it. So it's like, if it would have dropped with the game when the game launched, it wouldn't have been as bad, the multiplayer not having any content.
Yeah, I mean Reach cheated in that sense, where a lot of their maps were Forge World maps.
Literally.
When it dropped.
Like, so many of them.
Yeah, like there's a good 6 or so in the main rotation where it's just, this is a Forge World map.
And like, combine that with the remastered maps that are on that game, like, really, like, how many maps?
I was going to say.
New maps were on that
But game. The sheer volume of content Reach had, it still hasn't been not a single release since Reach has had the same level of content. Halo 4 had less, Halo 5 had less, and now Infinite had less. Like, not a single one of them, even after all the updates, have managed to equal Reach on release. That's the thing. People talk about Reach on release. I'm like, yeah, but we also got map packs and all the Forge World stuff. Like, you can't even quantify the amount of shit you got through that.
But it's just, the thing I don't get is this Forge type structure, like, it's been proven again and again in games how much more life it can,
absolutely,
how much of the lifespan of a game it can extend. For example, we were just talking about Grand Theft Auto. How much like playtime did we get out of just playing custom maps from that game?
That's a good point,
because that was literally
all
Forge,
the races and stuff. Yeah, literally,
which is
you're
just
right.
Forge. And look how many hours of content that gave.
I was going to say,
and
we did it on such a basic level. I bet there's 6 billion levels deep.
We didn't get into a lot of the content on that. But if Infinite launched with this Forge mode, which, like you said, it does look impressive.
I think with Infinite, there's a fundamental misunderstanding of Halo's appeal. They seem to have really gone hard on this as a tactical pro shooter.
Yeah.
When really, Halo's a very social experience to most 90% of people. Yeah, that there are the esports and that there are people that love the MLG, but MLG was always a rule set. It was a separate playlist you'd go into on Halo 3 or Reach. Like, those games were not designed they had to custom tweak them.
Yeah.
Which you could do because it was a social shooter where you had Forge, you had custom games, you had these people being 343 seem to have forgotten that. Where they're like, it needs to be balanced. We need all the guns to like.
I know, and adding to that, it's like when you make a game so tactical, you miss out on a lot of an audience because not everyone wants to hop on and have
literally.
It's like what COD did. With
we don't want to be sweaty at the end of the day. Most people.
Call of Duty did the exact same thing with Modern Warfare 2019. I know, like, I'm not gonna like hate on the game. It was a good game, but like the multiplayer alone was like
sweaty,
too sweaty. Where it's like most people want to come home from work or school, hop on like you say, it's a social thing. Get into a party and just like have like a couple games of like relaxed multiplayer.
Exactly. Well, and like there were so many modes in classic Halo games where it's like race or griffball or whatever. Where it's not even a shooter anymor.
Yeah,
it's like it's
straight up like basketball.
I was gonna say it's its own thing. Like, as I said, I just feel like they forgot. Like, this is why people play the game. This is what keeps them playing the game. Like the customizability, all of that. And I think they put their resources in the wrong place for the multiplayer. Definitely. You know, obviously it seems like this game was assembled in more than a free fall, like 5 feet off the ground before you crash and burn. Like, I'll say it is amazing the game functions. 343 are clearly talented enough that this game didn't release fucking broken. Yeah. Like a Battlefield 2040, whatever it was.
True.
Which...
True. And some of the recent COD games.
But even then, they've supported that Battlefield, and on Steam, it has more players than Halo Infinite.
I find that so surprising. Because Halo is free to play. Like, we're forgetting that.
I play Halo on PC more or less every day, because I have the Master Chief Collection. I still haven't downloaded Halo Infinite's multiplayer, even though it's free, because I just can't be bothered. I'm like, what appeal is there to me? Like, it's just... sort of like the old games with maybe better graphics, but even then I don't think the graphics are that impressive, and some crappy looking maps, and that's it. There's no custom games, there's no Forge, there's nothing right now. The weapons look kind of boring, the customization looks fucking weird. Like, to me there is nothing, which is bizarre, because like I'm the target audience. Like, I'm a Halo shill. Like, I haven't liked 343's handling of the franchise, but, like, I am still a fan. I'm still like, yeah, Halo. Like, as I said, I just think they have their priorities in all the wrong places constantly. Yeah. And it's very bizarre to watch. But yeah, don't worry. We're getting 2 new maps between November and March of this year.
I don't understand it. Like, what are they working on? Because don't get me wrong. I know Forge would take a lot of like resources and stuff, but when you look at the games we just mentioned in the same breath,
and they have a Forge team, it's the weird thing.
But like, look at Call of Duty. Still releases yearly. Look how much content.
The beta for Modern Warfare 2 that just dropped, they updated within 24 hours to fix bugs that people had reported. They went, oh shit, we'll tweak that.
This is what I mean, albeit like COD games, like Vanguard and Cold War both released like semi-broken.
Yeah.
But look how much support they got. Like, come on.
Of all the things you can fault Call of Duty for, which is a lot of things, support has never been one of them. They supported Black Ops 3 3 years after that game dropped. Like,
yeah, for real. And then when you look at like Warzone, how often that gets updated, like a whole new map.
Yeah.
All the crossover stuff they've been doing. Like, I don't know.
Every time a new game drops, they drop all the guns in there. Like they.
I don't know. I don't know what it is with them, but I think we are very close to the game. Like being unrecoverable.
I think they'll abandon it.
And we might already be there.
I was going to say, I think this shake-up might be it's over. Like, reallocate your resources, have a small team. I think it'll be like Anthem or any of those other style of shooters where they were supposed to be supported for like 5 years and got dropped. Because this is supposed to last us 10 years, don't forget. There is no way this game lasts 10 years. Within 5 years, we'll have a new Halo game.
So what that means, when you look at it on paper, what that means 10 years is they expect it to be as popular as GTA 5.
Yeah, literally.
There's no way.
I'm not being funny. We're a year out of the game's release and we're getting a Match XP beta. That feature that used to just be in video game. Match XP has been since Call of Duty 4 in 2000. When was that? 2007?
Yeah, 2007.
Like Match XP is the basic thing.
That a multiplayer shooter.
Why do you need a beta for that? Like, I get they've quickly had to go on, oh shit, people don't like our battle pass, we'll do Match XP, but like, why do you need a beta for it?
For real, either change it or not.
Like, yeah, like why? This is just so that if it's broken, they can be like, well, it's just a beta. Same with Forge.
Yeah.
I'll bet it's the same thing where it's like, oh well, Forge is just a beta. If your maps are fucking broken, that's just not our fault. It's a beta.
I love how like fall/winter roadmap as of September 1st to subject to change. Like
that's the thing.
It's just. And the echoes within Season 3, March to June.
This is the who is going to be playing Halo Infinite in June of next year? You know what still ain't on here? Infection. I will say one of the Halo YouTubers I watched, Late Night Gaming, made a good point about why it's probably not on here. Because the shotgun would break the game in Infection. Because it's semi-auto, you don't pump it.
Oh yeah.
So it was like you'd be too overpowered.
Well, you know how you could combat that is supporting the game and adding another shotgun.
But you see, we're adding the DMR with no scope between March and June next year. Does that, even though people have already modded it into the game? Also, another thing people have already modded into the game: the Falcon from Halo Reach works. It's in the game files.
You know why I find their roadmap so funny? They put such like a broad from this date to this date, and when you actually look at what's on the content thing, it's like stupid things. It might as well be like new startup menu,
literally,
like, and you'll get this from.
You mean like mission replay?
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And that's one of them. Like,
and that's the second thing on here. If you're reading left to right,
like.
Also, these armors, someone pointed out that they're hyping up for the new 30-tier battle pass. They found them in the game files when the game dropped. They've been finished.
You know, like when you start up Minecraft, you get like patch notes.
Yeah.
That's the stuff they put on their battle pass thing.
Yeah,
On
literally.
this, they've got Forge beta updates, quality of life improvements. Why would you put that on a roadmap? Isn't that something that comes naturally?
I was like, quality of life improvements is on every update.
I don't understand that. As if it's like a new skin or a new weapon.
Well, and I'm not being funny. Why do I need to wait till between March and June for VIP as a game mode? Like, that's... Okay, it's not been in 343's Halo games, but that's been in Halo since Halo 3? That's not a very complex mode.
Yeah.
People in Forge already made Infection as well, by the way. In however they got it, the Forge beta or alpha, I guess, if this is the beta, people already made Infection quicker than 343 could.
It's just embarrassing, like especially the way they got split screen into the game. Like it's so embarrassing.
This is my main. I think Forge, they think it's going to save them. I think it's going to embarrass them. Yeah. Where people will look at it and go, "What? Why couldn't you do this?"
And I'll tell you what,
because these two maps are Forge maps. It doesn't say this on the thing, but if you look into the details, Detachment and Argyle are Forge maps. Like, you know, on Reach, where they were Forge World maps that you would build.
Oh, that's what they are.
That's what they're in, like, Forge World. They're not real maps that the developers built from scratch. They're built in Forge.
Wow.
But don't worry, you're getting new equipment Shroud screen in March 7th to June 27th. Also, modders already found that in the game. And it works. So I don't know why we need to wait till March next fucking year.
When Forge drops, like, whether it'll save the game or not, you'll get like a maybe a month or two period where like people just go on there and just make all of the shit that isn't in the game. Like, it will happen. And then...
But and I think it'll just, as I said, I think it will embarrass 343. It won't save them, which is what I think a lot of people are hoping for. So they'll be like, no, the community will come together, because you know what? It didn't save Halo 5.
True.
And Halo 5 was very popular when it dropped. Like, a lot of people played that game.
Popular than Infinite.
And it stuck around longer than Infinite.
True.
So, as I said, if it couldn't save that game, and that was only, 3 months after that dropped? That wasn't that long.
No, nowhere near as.
Whereas this is like a year. It'll be one of those things where people just send you videos on Twitter where it's like, look at this cool thing someone made in Forge.
Yeah.
It won't be like, okay, now let me go download Infinite. Even though it's free, as you said, it is free.
Watch someone make like a whole new game in Forge.
I mean, I've already seen the one. There's the big one where it's Andy's room from Toy Story. Someone's made in Forge, and as I said, it looks impressive. I saw like some from one of the Alien movies. I've seen all sorts of stuff. But it's like, if only we had the modes to play on these maps. Imagine Infection in those maps, or imagine like Juggernaut or Race.
Because surely Forge will still be limited by the lack of.
Yeah, because you'll have to also make the mode.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, as I said, people can make the mode, but if your regular person can't, they're not going to go out of their way to.
No, yeah.
And there's no file share. So how am I, if you make a sick map and mode, how am I going to play it unless you invite me? It's not like before where I can go on your file share and download it. As I said, to me, I think it's over.
I think, it's looking more and more likely. With like, by now, like I said, the game released. When did the game actually release?
Last November. So we're coming up on a year. We're about 10 months out. And then the campaign was December.
And that's still your roadmap.
And there's no word on campaign DLC.
Which like we probably won't get now.
Or if we will, it'll be like 4 years from now.
Maybe that's why they said it was a 10-year plan.
Yeah, in 10 years it will be complete.
It'll be a semi-finished game in 10 years.
Firefight, will we ever get that?
No way.
Whereas, as I said, then I'll give him credit. The new head of 343 is the guy that's been running Master Chief Collection and all the updates for it recently. So hopefully, if he could fix that, I hope he can like steer the company in some kind of direction.
I guess that's the one counter argument you could have, because that game did make a recovery.
But people like Halos 1 through 3.
True. Like it's much less of a task. All they have to do is make the games playable.
Literally. Whereas this is like you have to create new content. That they just had to fix it, and then they decided to add new content. Credit to them, but it's not looking good, bruv.
Big man thing.
It's not looking good. Rest in peace, Halo Infinite.
Rest in peace.
Okay, so on from that to Modern Warfare 2.
Yes.
2. The new Modern Warfare 2. We got the big announcement event. Oh, not announcement. Showcase event, I guess.
Yes. Multiplayer
reveal and Warzone 2 reveal. I guess general thoughts on Modern Warfare 2 as a game. From what I've seen, the multiplayer looks very similar. To the first one. Looks basically the same.
Yeah, which like I don't feel too like strongly about. Like we briefly mentioned earlier, like for me, I wasn't the biggest fan of
the second I saw a door be opened, I was like,
again. Because like, don't get me wrong, the Modern Warfare reboot, it was like, it's probably the best COD
in recent,
Black Ops 2.
Yeah, I'll agree with that easily. Since
But
Black
like,
Ops 2.
Surprisingly for me, the multiplayer was probably the weakest part of that game.
Easily, yeah, I would say.
If you do have to count Warzone, because like it was birthed from.
I was gonna say because
the first Modern Warfare.
Well, and even then, I sort of split gunfight up from the multiplayer as well.
Yeah.
Like I know it was a mode, but to me, it played so differently and
that was
changed everything about COD.
And that was super fun. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say gunfight, Warzone, and campaign were the highlights for me, whereas multiplayer and the Spec Ops were just kind of.
Yeah, like mechanically, like the gunsmith and all that was great, but for me, like the maps were kind of bad.
Yeah, it felt, and just camping, man. It just became a very sweaty game. As you said, not the kind of thing you come home after working and go, okay, let's play.
They kind of encouraged like you say, like
sweaty gameplay.
Lobbies.
Yeah,
and then they like the skill-based matchmaking kind of like came into effect with that game. Yeah, I don't know. The multiplayer, I'm kind of just like,
yeah, fine. I was gonna say I didn't think we'd talk too much about it. I was just curious if you had any if you went and you, as I said, the second I saw a door open, I went, okay.
Modern Warfare.
This is literally this isn't like COD 4 to the original Modern Warfare 2 where it plays like a different game. This is like the same game more or less.
Just slightly more. I'm guessing.
It's scaled back the arcadey elements that sort of Cold War and Vanguard brought in. And he's going, no, we're making it a bit more grounded again. Slide canceling's gone. Dolphin diving is back. Doors are still here. We're still not calling guns by their real life name for some reason. Very weird. I don't know why the new Call of Duties do this.
Yeah. They
give them weird names. Like, I was like, oh, the MP5, and then I saw it was called like the Luckman Sub, and I was like, what the fuck is that? So, yeah, as I said, it very much just looks like Modern Warfare 2019 Part 2. So if you like that game, you'll probably like this. If you didn't like it, I highly doubt it's going to change you. There'll be elements some people will prefer, some will like less, but I think overall it's going to be a very similar experience.
The thing that's kind of worrying me is Warzone 2.
Okay, let's get into it. Yeah.
Just because, like, from what I've seen and from what I've read, they are like changing.
Overhauling.
Yeah, they're like changing the looting system. The loadout has been scrapped.
It's got AI everywhere.
Yeah, the vehicles are different. You can swim now.
Yes. What else did I write down? The looting is like totally overhauled. The Gulag plays totally differently.
Yeah, it's not 1v1.
No, it's 2v2 and it's against AI. You and a random person are against AI. Obviously, this is all subject to change. They probably will tweak some of this. I think the Gulag they're almost definitely going to tweak because I'm like, it makes no sense to me right now.
I'm all for like
innovation
and innovation, but I think like everyone who played Warzone had no issues with the Gulag.
Yeah, and I also just think change and innovation, but this isn't innovation. This is going back to Blackout, which didn't work. A lot of these,
because the looting system is kind of similar to Blackout.
The AI being everywhere reminds me of Blackout. Like it, to me, I was like, oh, I thought we all agreed Blackout was fun, but didn't really have any longevity to it.
And like Warzone improved on everything.
Literally everything.
Simply by making everything simpler.
Yeah, literally. That was the appeal, was it was a battle royale, but you didn't have all this fucking looting nonsense going on.
And now it seems like right now it's kind of overcomplicated.
Yeah, definitely.
When it doesn't need to be. I think all I wanted from like Modern Warfare, and that in between period where we had like the Cold War Warzone map.
Yeah, and then we went into Caldera.
All I wanted was a new map, which played exactly the same as the first Warzone.
Yeah, basically.
And like
that sweet spot we hit after the first Halloween update, where it was just everything had been tweaked and polished. We didn't have any broken guns, really. Like, there was always the meta, but generally everything was balanced. We hadn't brought in the Cold War guns yet. There was like a sweet period of like 2-3 months where it was like
everyone was playing it. It was like the biggest
balanced
thing.
Yeah. And then like the Cold War guns came in and it never recovered. Like, it was always something different. We got the 80s map that was nowhere near as good as the original Verdansk. Then Caldera, which was just like fucking a disaster.
Yeah.
And just it, yeah.
So I just find it interesting because obviously I don't really know what they're going for with the new Warzone. Because I get like calling it Warzone 2 means it has to be different.
Has to be different. I will give them credit. They said it's a different launcher. They're not tying it to Modern Warfare 2 this time,
which is
good.
Cool.
Yeah,
like, it doesn't like.
And it means that you're not going to have to fucking leave it installed if you don't want to, and vice versa.
Yeah. But now I don't know. Haven't played it yet, so I can't really like speak on that aspect. But
yeah, of course. I was going to say that is the main thing. Is until you play it, you won't know. But just looking at it, there's a lot of things that make me nervous.
Yeah, like why change something that was fine? Like the loot, everyone liked the looting. Everyone liked the buy stations, which I think have also been changed or taken out. I've read a few things.
They're in there because now you buy your guns from there. So maybe the loadout thing will be all right because you'll just buy your gun pre-customized and you'll just get... Maybe that's how that's going to work. The thing is, obviously, where it was an event, nobody had any pre-made guns. So the guns they could buy were just the normal ones.
See, the one thing, again, where I haven't played it, I can't talk on it like expertly, but like the loadouts being gone doesn't bother me too much as long as there's a system in there where you can more or less create your own loadout mid-game. What I mean is like you can buy, like you say, your customized guns, perks.
The only thing I will miss about loadouts being gone is you could recover. If you died halfway through a game, you'd come back with no Ps, but your boy could buy a loadout and you'd be set. You'd be back in the game.
That's a good point.
Or the game would drop a loadout for you.
That's a good point.
And you'd be back. You wouldn't have to worry about, well, I'm broke in the final circle with just my pistol.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
You could always come back. So I am a little bit worried that this is going to make it sweatier. Where it's just like everyone's in that final circle with a fucking laser gun. And you're running around with
pistol,
like
M19.
I was going to like just... And you just get annihilated from outer space. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I am a bit worried that that's the way, especially with the way the new zones work. Because have you seen that? Where it's 3 zones. And then they slowly become 1.
Yeah.
But it's not like 3 zones connected. Like, that they can be like that. And it's like, what if I'm in this zone and everyone else is in these 2 zones? Am I just going to sit there for 10 minutes until finally they connect? I'm in an area with no loot. So I can't get any Ps, I can't get any loadouts, I can't get anything. We reconnect and I've waited 10 minutes and instantly get lasered. The end. You just wasted 10 minutes up there doing nothing.
And again, it's like, why did they change that? Every Battle Royale game has the same
I think in theory system. It's to discourage camping.
But then what you're saying, that makes sense. But then when you think about it, it's like, if your zone
is shit.
But on the other hand, if it's good...
Yeah.
You just camp out until the...
That's a good point.
Because, again, I haven't played it. I don't know when the zones merge. Like, how long does it take for the zones to
I think it's the end.
So there you go. Like, because in that sense...
Because I saw gameplay where it was literally like... Because Terminal's one of the maps. But, like, the runway goes out into the ocean. And one of the zones was just the runway. And the guy was like, there's nothing there. There's no cover. There's no loot. So he's like, if I drop there... like, I'll be fucked when we get to the final zone. He had to like fly through the gas and drop somewhere else because he was like, otherwise I would just be at such a disadvantage. Like, why would that ever be a thing?
I saw a thing on Twitter was where like it had like a good counter for the zone, because I get like camping is an issue.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
no,
you can just camp until the zone.
Yeah.
But someone was like, what if they just made it where when you're on the bus, not the bus, making a Fortnite, when you're about to drop, like,
yeah,
you don't have an outline.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
The first circle doesn't spawn until like 5 minutes into the game. So by then everyone's looted where they need to loot. And then you run to the zone.
Yeah.
I don't know why they've. Again, it seems to me like they're overcomplicating it.
Definitely, I think that was my main takeaway from all of this.
And I don't know why
they're overcomplicating the appeal of what was simple.
Yeah.
The appeal of Warzone was it was dead easy. You didn't have to worry about the looting of PUBG or the building of Fortnite.
Yeah.
It was easy. You could drop in, play a couple games, drop out. Like,
to me, isn't that why it had such a mainstream appeal? Because it was easy to get into.
I was gonna say, like, that's, to me,
there's like a skill barrier you can get to, but like for accessibility, do you know what I mean? Anyone could jump on, and have a semi.
That's the appeal of COD, isn't it?
Whereas, you know, like you say, if me and you jumped in Fortnite now, like,
we'd get steamrolled.
Exactly.
And yeah, so and in general, when I looked at the map, sure, there were some cool things like Dome from Modern Warfare 3's in there, Terminal, obviously, from Modern Warfare 2. There's that map from COD 4 where it's like a courtyard with a big statue in the middle. I can't remember the name of it. Showdown or something, I think it's called. I was like, cool, some cool Modern Warfare maps. But then I was like, as a map, this new area, it just looks like Verdansk again. Like, I know it's set in the Middle East. Like, aesthetically, it looks different, but the shape.
Yeah.
I was like,
I thought that as well. And there's some areas that are,
yeah.
Isn't there another quarry?
Yeah, there's another quarry. Oh, which is quarry from Modern Warfare 2. I will gas that up at least. But
and then there's obviously the airport,
there's another airport, which is Terminal this time. It's what they should have done in the first place, basically, where they take all these, like a quarry and an airport, and go, oh yeah, we had a quarry map and an airport map. Maybe we should put those in.
Which I'm not too fussed. Like, I feel like an airport is like an area every Warzone.
Yeah, of course. Like, but it is a bit like, and then you get the big town, and like there was just nothing there where I went, oh, this is different. Outside of like maybe the flooded town, where I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, because there was a dam. I was like, oh, another dam, another this. Like, I was very much like, I guess when you get down to it, most cities or countries are kind of similar on some level, but I wish they'd done maybe a bit more. But then again, Caldera did, and that was shit. So
yeah. I mean,
as I said, I'm a bit, until I play the map, I won't know.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's a battle royale. They'll add things, they'll take things away, they'll tweak the map. Like,
but for me, like, don't get me wrong. I know if your map is in somewhat competent, as long as the gameplay is good, like, you're okay. Yeah. Because like Verdansk wasn't like super different to what we've experienced with like battle royale maps. Do you know what I mean? Like, but like, because the gameplay was fun, you grow to like the map. Whereas like for example, Cold War, I know the map was different, but like it was 80% similar, the same as the OG Verdansk.
80% because it's in the 80s.
But because the gameplay was just bad and the guns were unbalanced,
and every change they made the map worse.
Exactly. So, but my thing is, the thing I'm concerned about, like I said, is the stuff they've changed.
I think there's also this big question mark of this DMZ mode. It seems like that's going to tie quite heavily into Warzone, because they're talking about these AI like bases you can raid in Warzone, and you can access black sites, and they're not telling us what those are, and sort of that'll tie in somehow to this DMZ mode where it's like Escape from Tarkov, where you like drop in and fight AI and players and get out with your loot, And it's like, will you be able... Are those the guns you're going to be able to buy from the buy stations, maybe? You know, it's all a bit up in the air at the moment. So until we know a bit more about that, like, I don't have a full idea of how Warzone 2 is going to work, necessarily.
I'm just intrigued, like, what the buy stations will be then. Because if you can't start with a loadout, as in you can't select a loadout in game, surely the counter to that would be you can buy perks from buy stations. You can buy your lethals, your tacticals, and your personalized guns. You would hope. To me, that would make sense, because then it's a bit more like you're not stuck to the same loadout every game. Because I know, like, towards the end of Warzone, I just had the same. I was gonna say you have the same, like, 2-3 loadouts. Whereas like this is like you can build a loadout mid game every time. You can go, oh wait, I'm in a bit of an open place. Let me get a sniper and an assault rifle, or. But I don't know if you can do that. Yes. So I don't know enough. As I said, I don't know how. As I said, it's all a bit up in the air. Where it's like, is this DMZ mode going to really matter, or is it going to be like very quickly they'll tweak things? That's the main thing with battle royales. You never know. I was gonna say, how many like things were there in the OG that just kind of got scrapped? Yeah, or added, like trains got added and this and that. Like, I don't know. It'll be interesting either way, because it's the original Warzone was so successful, and you're sort of like, how much of that was because of lockdown and this and that. And so it'll be interesting to see the impact that basically trying again has. You know, because now they have the disadvantage of everyone has already made up their mind about Warzone. Do they like it? Do they hate it? Are they kind of in the middle? Like, obviously they'll get a big surge of everyone coming back, but everyone's a lot more polarized already, where they're either going to be like, oh yeah, I loved Warzone, I'll keep playing, or I fucking hated Warzone, I'm probably not going to play this. Or I'll give it a couple matches and then duck out. Because what is the beta, just multiplayer, or can you play Warzone? Just multiplayer, from what I've seen. Because Warzone doesn't drop till November. Yeah. So I hope it's not bad, because I need a reason to like get back on Warzone. Every time we talk about Warzone, we say this. It's like, I need a reason to play it again. But yeah, as I said, it just looks very Blackout inspired, which surprised me. So, and don't get me wrong, like, Blackout was fun. It was fun. I think it was overhated. Definitely. But like, I think everyone can agree Warzone like improved, surpassed it in every way. Unless you're a big fan of zombies. And you like, I want to drop in for Rooked. Yeah, unless you love like every area being themed. I was gonna say that was maybe the appeal of Blackout, was every area was a map. Which like, I'm a fan of. I was gonna say, because Call of Duty has great maps. So I'm happy they're taking that into this. Because that was the main thing. Like, oh, I'm in an airport. Why not make it terminal? Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. Like, at the end of the day. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see about that one. That's the end of my list. I don't really have anything else to bring to this table, unless you do. Shocking. I was gonna say, if we briefly talk on Kanye and the Adidas and Gap drama, because like we're not here for clout. I love it. Current topics. Lead the way on this one. So, for like the past few weeks, to no like surprise, he's kind of been, I think tweaking would be the right word. Yeah, tweaking on Instagram. And there's been a back and forth between him and like the higher ups of Adidas and Gap. And like now it's come out after all this drama that he's potentially leaving both. Yes. Potentially. It seems like he's, I don't know if it's 100% confirmed, but it seems like he's left Gap. I was going to say. And Adidas from what I've seen, is once his contract is up,
yes,
he will leave and he'll go solo. Apparently.
Do we know when his contract is up?
2026.
Oh, calm. I can get all the users I need by then.
2026.
Interesting.
I just... reason I brought it up is...
yeah.
I find it interesting for someone like Kanye, because for the impact he has, I want to know what you think if he could do what he's done with Nike and Adidas solo as a brand.
No, because Kanye gets distracted. The advantage of working with a big brand like Adidas is they're going to keep making Yeezys.
Whether he's there or not.
And so, look at the STEM player. Big push. STEM player. All my music is going to be on STEM player only.
Yeah.
My Yeezys. Anyway, moving on. Who's to say in 2026, all right, guys, he'll have a year where he really pushes Yeezy trainers.
Brand,
And then, next thing. That's the thing with Kanye, is when he's not nailed down to something, there's no reason to stick to it for him.
Yeah, because it's always the next big thing. But the thing I find interesting about it is, I think like anyone who like vaguely knows his like patterns, you can kind of tell what's happened. Whereas like in my mind, what you've said has happened, where somewhere along the line he's been distracted, and Adidas have gone, okay, so we're gonna start making colorways and silhouettes then.
Yeah.
And then now he's woke up one day, like
and decided,
someone sent him a picture of like a new 350 colorway, and he's like, they've done meetings without me, like they're trying to name my shoe.
They're trying to take your brand away from you.
Yeah.
Which like I want to be happy for him getting his, because it is his brand. At the end of the day, he has revolutionized like sneakers, for better or for worse. Like the way we buy them, the way they drop, like all of that is Yeezy. I mean, look at how Jordan's like had to fucking reinvent the way they sell after Yeezys came out.
It's the hype release.
And so I want to be glad that he's getting that independence for them. But as I said, the thing is, it's Kanye, and he's so... I just, on a business level, I like the people that bought STEM players. I was like, you're all idiots. I'm sorry. Like, he's gonna get bored of this. You know what I mean? Like, he's doing so many things right now. I can't see... He's going for a divorce to start with. Set the base level. That will be incredibly messy. It already has been, but when we actually get into the nitty gritty of whose is what's,
who owns what,
that's when it's gonna get like messy. And then you throw in Yeezys, you throw in STEM players, you throw in he's building a school,
his actual music.
I was gonna. That's not even getting started on the actual music, and all these other like. You can't even keep track of it all. Yeah. Like, I don't really trust him to keep that level going. I think Yeezy as a brand I mean, I could eat my words. I hope I eat my words, because as I said, I want to be glad that he's getting it out from under Adidas. But I think Yeezy as a brand will just kind of diminish and go away after the first couple of drops, because he'll get distracted.
But I wonder. The reason I brought it up is just I just thought of, what would it be without a partner? Because obviously he was with Nike, and then now he's been with Adidas like since. Like, does he own the silhouettes to like?
That's a good question.
His sneakers, like his
I
trainers?
would guess not, because the Nike silhouettes have never,
but
reappeared.
Neither him or Nike have like used them. So like there must be something.
Presumably, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
That's a good point.
because I know he's never released like another. Obviously, he can't release another Nike Yeezy, but one of the early Adidas Yeezys had like the similar strap.
Yeah.
So like,
that's a good point.
I just get like, how would it work?
These are the Red Octobers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Because the 350s and the foam runners and the 700, they're all such an iconic silhouette nowadays. It's hard to imagine them just like
going. But at the time, that's what happened with the Nike ones.
But those weren't as mainstream in the same way.
No.
You know what I mean?
Like,
Like,
yeah. They weren't.
it would be like if Jordan 1s just, you couldn't get them anymore.
Yeah.
Like, they were just gone. You'd be like, what?
And like Yeezys, like, they're so readily available.
Exactly.
Now. So it's like, I just found it interesting to think if he did leave Adidas.
Yeah.
Would he? Because I know, like, I read a thing where originally with his agreement with Adidas, there was an agreement for him to have Yeezy stores.
Yeah, I saw him talking about that.
So like,
it's interesting. It's interesting to think about if that's what he would go. But then, does he want it to be a luxury brand or an accessible brand? He would have to decide.
Yeah.
And I don't think Kanye wants his brand to be accessible. Look, even when he partnered with Gap, it was fucking expensive.
But apparently he wanted the prices to be lower, and that's
fair enough.
Part of the beef with Gap.
Maybe then.
So I'll see you in the Yeezy shades.
I will. Wavy?
Not for me. But if you...
I think they look good on women.
Yeah.
Whereas men, apart from Kanye himself, I've not seen a man rock them.
Like I said, not for me. On certain specimens, maybe. Not for me.
Catch me in the foam runners soon enough.
But yeah, I just find it interesting. Like, obviously, this will all change, and in 2 weeks, he'll sign another 10-year deal with Adidas.
Yeah, like, I wonder what the impact on Adidas would be, because Yeezys are their shoe, like their premier, like their Jordan or their whatever. Like, I can't imagine them without it.
And like, let's not lie. Like, Adidas, they've kind of had like a comeback with him.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, obviously, Adidas will always be Adidas, but
yeah, like, I'm not. Yeah, obviously they're not, like, going to disappear. Yeah, but
it's just he's kind of ushered them into like the streetwear era since like 2015 onwards. So like,
they were trendy, whereas Adidas weren't trendy like that.
Not like that. Yeah,
it's not like all the cool chicks are wearing Yeezys. Yeah. She wore foam runners to the date.
But that's what I mean. Who would own the silhouettes? Because obviously part of his beef with Adidas was like, there's a few releases of theirs that like are very similar to his shoes. So like,
but that he'll never win, because this fucking the pound shop have like bootleg Yeezy slides. You know what I mean? Like, that's just shoes. Yeah, people make knockoffs.
But obviously, like, Adidas would never. I don't know. Would they be able to release a 350 without him?
I don't think so.
Or a 7. Any.
I reckon neither of them can do anything with it, because it's part. Yeah, I would be surprised, and unless he was smart enough to sign, when he switched to Adidas, to sign the deal where it's I own the silhouettes. Maybe that's part of the beef, is I own the silhouettes and you're trying to rip me off in my own company, per se.
Yeah. But then they make the shoe.
Yeah, but which is more valuable, the person that makes the shoe or the person that designs it? That's like where you get in the weeds of it, isn't it? Like, that's like, where the debate will be. Because
like, in like in a development sense, like, Adidas are huge.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
They can pump out, like, we've seen it, the quantities they pump out.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure that all the people, like, we're arguing like Yeezy helped revive Adidas, but I'm sure some people will argue, well, Yeezy could only like be as big as it is because Adidas gave him the supplies.
But like, definitely, I think that's true. Like, that's why he's always had to be a collaborator with another
100%. And I mean, that's the thing people argue. against him, where it's like you took the piss out of Jordan for basically just signing his life away to Nike. But it's like you did the same thing to Adidas. Like, and look, you're in the same situation where you're not even involved. They're designing colorways like this and that. Like, there's an interesting way to look at Kanye's whole discography and see how he basically predicted where he would be without realizing it constantly, you know.
But the only thing I find like interesting is a lot of people only buy Yeezys because they're a fan of Kanye West. Don't get me wrong, there's still a massive chunk who buy it
but just because it's trendy.
Yeah, but like we've seen it in the past, like his fans just like they flock to whatever he does, which is like, I wonder what would happen if he were to do his own thing. His
first few drops will be incredibly successful. I just think then he'd get distracted. Because also you lose all the infrastructure of being able to get the Yeezys because you're no longer unconfirmed.
And it's like,
is he going to make his own app?
Can he keep the prices the same if he doesn't have the production?
That's the thing
that he gets from Adidas.
You know, and as I said, like, what is he going to design an app for it all? Like, how is it going to work?
Yeah. Does
he want them to be like, if he's talking about a store, does he want them to be like just available in like Clark's? You know what I mean? Like, what is his goal? Does he have a goal? Probably not.
I just find it like interesting because it's always been like the 4 or 5 sportswear brands which like are untouchable, and if you want to make a shoe, you have to go through one of them.
Like
then like Adidas, Puma, Reebok, and now more so like New Balance. It's like, I just wonder. Yeah, I just found it interesting if he were to actually leave and say, just for argument's sake, he did own all the silhouettes.
Yeah.
It's like, how would it work?
All I know is if I'm a Nike executive right now, I'm laughing because Kanye just basically crippled my competition in the specifically the shoe, like sneaker market. Because like it's like Jordan's, Air Force Ones, Yeezys, right? I guess the New Balances are sort of on the come up, but
like Air Max, or
three
like,
of those are Nike.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And
like shoe wise, I don't.
It's a wrap.
Like seriously, like I don't think Adidas can't step to Nike shoe wise.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, but now it's like at all. Like without Yeezy, like it's hilarious.
Yeah,
and it's like that's the only other like celebrity endorsed footwear that's selling is the Yeezys, because it's like Jordans, and then Nike are really starting to realize they're getting Drake in on these hot steppers, they're getting LeBron and all these people in.
I would argue like Jordan now is basically, that's just Nikes.
Yeah.
Like in Air Force, you have a Jordan 1.
Yeah, 100%.
So like really the competition to Yeezy would, like you say, it would be like Drake if he keeps making the hot steps.
I said LeBron has his ones, doesn't
Pharrell.
he? Yeah. Pharrell's Adidas, isn't he?
He is Adidas, but like obviously he doesn't go on like the hype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I don't know. Either way, it will like seismically shift like sneaker brands. But who knows what will be like trendy in when did you say 2026?
That's when his contract ends with Adidas, I believe.
So who knows if Yeezys will even be the same level of popularity?
No, because like now they're not like where they were in 2017.
Yeah,
18. They're nowhere near, but they still sell.
Exactly. So like, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Just food for thought, isn't it?
Food for thought. Something to leave you with.
Yeah.
Little nugget to turn over in your brain. I think that's a good place to wrap it up there.
I'm happy with that.
So yeah, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you do the usual like, follow, comment, all the stuff boosts us in the old algorithm. Check us out, Instagram, TikTok. What else are we on? We're not on Twitter. Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Don't Start a Podcast. You'll find us most places with that. And let us know your thoughts on any of the stuff we talked about. We had quite a video gamey episode today, but even the Yeezys thing, I suppose. Which way do you think it's gonna go? Is it gonna be more mainstream or more niche? I suppose. And
next pod we will film it entirely with Yeezy shades on.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they're gonna send us some. I heard.
It's because we name dropped the brand. So.
Yeah, we're actually sponsored. I'm wearing ADIDAS right now, so
same.
The checks already cleared. We're laughing to the bank. So, but yes, catch you all on the next one.
Peace.